Welcome to the Gray Area. The Gray Area Media. We've obligated ourselves to be the voice for all communities, speaking on topics that include community, religion, education, politics, technology, sports, health, and wellness. The Gray Area Media is a platform created by longtime friends for the sole purpose of providing our communities with the ability to voice current, past, and modern-day issues. The Gray Area, in its naming significance, solely speaks to the area in which people shy away from speaking because of media-based constraints or contractual-based obligations. Well, I'm here to tell you, we don't do that here. So please, stay tuned in. We're going to go live in a few minutes. Don't forget, please add us as a friend on Facebook so that you can follow our live feed. And not only that, please add us on Twitter and Instagram at The Gray Area Media. Please visit our website at www.thegrayareamedialive.com. Thank you. Hello, viewers. We are live right now, and this is The Gray Area. This is your boy, Ray E.
This is your boy, P. Wills.
And we have some very special guests in the building. Dwayne is joining us today. How you doing, man? To get in on the dialogue.
Hey, man. I did not expect
Dwayne
to see
Welch.
this guy here today. After the little battle that we had on Facebook for the last 2 days, man.
All right.
Listen, look, you got to let me know, man. I mean, you should have said, yo, Pat, he asked, man, to come on. And I'd have been like, come on, man.
That's very unfortunate.
I'm just playing. So, glad you're here, Chief.
But we have Sid, Uncle Jamz Johnson in the building, legendary. How you doing, man?
Greetings to everybody at the Gray Area Media in my hometown of Indianapolis.
Absolutely, absolutely. We got Brandon Rayam here.
Hey, how you doing? This Moonlight TV Hip-Hop going live.
Yes. And then we have Andrew Hunt, Numbers Media TV and Magazine.
Yes, sir.
How you doing, man?
Peace, fellas. Glad y'all here, man.
Doing real good. Tell them we do numbers.
Absolutely. The discussion today, fellas, is revolving around music. We had another discussion where we kind of delve into hip-hop and then the R&B, and we kind of dissected it a little bit. But today we want to talk about the climate of music. Music has changed both economically, financially, and physically in regards to selling CDs and music, you know. And Sid's been around long enough. Sid's gonna give us a lot of information because he's been around long enough to see that adapt from different medias, from the eight track all the way up to the CD to the MP3. So we definitely gonna dig into that. But what I want you fellas to do is to formally introduce yourselves to our viewers and let them know about your accomplishments and what you represent as for your company. Sid, you can go first. Hold on. Sid might take. Hey, hold on, Sid, because Sid got some accomplishments, y'all. Let's start with Andrew.
A resume.
A resume.
His resume's long.
No, resume.
Yeah, with the little accent.
Yeah, resume.
Wow.
I'm Andrew Hunt. You know what I mean? But Andrew Hunt, I'm in the building. Everybody probably know me as Mikado back in the day.
For sure.
Started off as an artist.
Yeah.
Took it as far as I could go. Got some good accomplishments. You can catch me on a couple PlayStation games. NBA The Life 06.
Nice.
Yeah.
When you on the practice board,
Nice.
they playing
That's
my
you.
song. And
Wow.
everybody had to practice their jumpers.
That's
so they
what's
was
up.
playing. ATV Off-Road 4, we was on there.
Nice,
Went
man.
on a tour with Pimp C 2 weeks before he died. That's
Pimp
tough.
C, bro.
Pimp C brought my CD twice. He brought it in Kansas City, then he brought it in the Quad Cities.
How's Pimp C, bro? Because you know what? I've always said this, man, about Pimp C.
Break it down.
Like, he's not in my top 10,
Me either.
but I think he's one person that could have been on every rap song ever made.
I feel that. I'm gonna have to keep it real. I always keep it real. It was a good and bad.
Okay.
First off, physically, I didn't think he looked like that. He was like so big, like his stomach. He had a big old gold chain on, and the chain was sitting up like this.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
So that's not what we see on videos.
Yeah, man. You know, that's a good South eating, boy.
That's that good South eating. But I love the way he talks, man. He's very articulate. He kind of talked that country swing on records, but in person, could have been a politician or something. Vocab through the roof. Wow. Very smart individual.
Yeah.
Super smart. Throw you off smart. Like,
I know,
oh,
man.
This is Pimp C. You know what I mean?
Right.
I mean, you know, there's like, a conspiracy. There's some theorists that say that man, he was killed because of that reason. Yeah. He was like putting out too much truth. Just about people in the whole industry, like Russell Simmons, all of them. Yeah,
I remember those days.
Yeah, Mace. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, he talked a lot. So a lot about that type the industry.
To talk about it, so that was.
Yeah, it was a lot. But did that. That was the music stuff. I kind of transitioned into the magazine. We started the Numbers magazine like 3 years ago. And it was big.
Represent, because I see that all over the place.
Thank you.
For sure.
I kind of lost touch of it a little bit because I got into radio.
Yeah.
So we did the Numbers for a good year. Then in the second year, we started radio and the Numbers, and the radio became a monster.
Right.
And kind of outshadowed the Numbers. And then the radio show turned into a radio station where we ended up having like 10 shows.
Right.
So the Numbers got pushed all the way to the back.
Wow.
So here for like the last year, I've been doing my best to bring it back
to
the forefront.
Absolutely. Necessary in the community.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
We can help you, bro, in any way.
Don't
for
play.
sure.
Don't play, because I'll be calling you tomorrow like, remember you said
got you.
For sure.
No,
that's what it's for.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
That's what's up. That's what's
So
up.
we got you, bro. Yeah.
Thank you. But that's what we on now. Check us out. We got the Numbers Media TV,
Okay.
which is pretty much the magazine, the radio station, and then the Cypher Battle Series. I'm not sure if y'all into
that's
Cyphers.
real nice. Yeah. I've been seeing the ciphers. They're nice.
Yeah, that really kind of took wings of its own and it's starting to fly. So that's
sure.
where we are right now, putting things together.
Okay.
Nice,
cool,
man.
cool.
That's dope, bro.
Brandon.
Hey, what's up, everybody?
What's up, man?
I'm Brandon Round, originally from Cincinnati, Ohio.
Okay.
Been living here about 7-8 years here in Naptown.
Okay.
Man, I'm loving this city. It's a lot of culture. It's a lot of
For
black
sure.
people doing positive things.
For sure.
Where I come from, it's a little different.
Yeah.
But it's all love.
Right.
So let me explain Moolah TV Hip Hop to y'all real quick. So Moolah TV, me and my best friend Jeff. You ever had that dude back in the day that always had the music, knew every song that was out, and it was your trusted playlist.
For sure.
Yeah.
That's my boy Jeff.
Okay.
Jeff.
Shout out to Jeff.
Shout out to Jeff, my business partner. We became official LLC about 2 months ago.
Nice.
So he evolved into a DJ, and we started curating playlists on Spotify, Apple Music, SoundCloud, and Spinrilla. And at first it was just two friends just starting off, and then we thought we could potentially make some money off of this. We know we are the wave as far as the new hip hop era. We know all the tracks, artists, who are blowing up, and we just promote them.
Nice.
I do all the visuals, so I want to start doing interviews, do photography. I just started that in November and just took off with it. I just use it as a tool in order to meet people and get through the door. Moolah TV Hip Hop, like right now, so my boy, he's currently in Atlanta right now, going to the Rap Caviar, the Spotify concert, and looking to connect with people with them so we could become official.
Okay. And that's a major event out there?
Major event.
Okay.
That's Mike Will Made It and Gucci Man right now.
Oh, nice.
Oh, man, that's
real
dope, man.
big down in Atlanta. So he's down there doing his thing, and I'm here doing my part. So.
Okay.
Yo, man, you know what? How's the hip hop scene in Cincinnati versus the hip hop scene here? Because Cincy, I mean, you got like DJ High Tech. He's from there, but it's like here, man. So what's the difference, man, between the two?
The difference, I would say, Cincinnati's a little bit more raw. Like you got, it's more hood music than different than here in Indianapolis. You find neo soul. You got a lot of artists who got different sounds. I feel like if you go, like I like Cook LaFleur from Cincinnati. He's messing with the Migos right now. Low Quality Control. So but far as that, you got a lot of those type of rappers coming out of Cincinnati. Not too much of I like the neo soul as well. People who actually speak things like Kendrick, J. Cole.
For sure.
Real lyrical. So
Yeah,
that's the difference.
Adrian Broner trying to rap, man.
Hey, AB.
About billions been trying to rap, man.
He trying. AB.
He tried,
I
man.
got so much to say about that dude. I ain't even.
He lost that. I know, man.
Nah,
He lost that fight, and then he got mad, man. It was like, yo, it don't matter. I can fight tomorrow and still sell this place out. Like, dude, you just lost.
You know, like the dude be running down the street, and you be like, I hope you don't get hit by the bus, and then he get hit by the bus. That's AB, bro.
AB, man.
Shout out to AB, man. He be trying. Sid, Man, unleash on us, man. I mean, let's start from the beginning, man.
Should I go get a notebook and a pen?
You might want to, because I feel like in order for people to really truly understand, you know, what you've done, you got to go back to the beginning of where it started.
Wow.
Come on, man. Come on.
Go back to the
Come on. Tell us how it started.
Where it started.
Because look, people tuning in don't even realize the three hits that this dude got. But I'm gonna let him tell y'all. Go ahead.
Actually, it's more than 3. But
it's more than 3. He just gave me 3. See that? You see that? He just gave me 3. See?
I gotta hear this, man. Here, man. I'm about to.
How it started? It started with me seeing the Beatles on the Ed Sullivan Show in 1960. And when I saw the Beatles on the Ed Sullivan Show, I decided that I wanted to be in music.
Okay.
Wow.
And
Why?
Why did I want to be in music?
Yeah. After seeing the Beatles.
What was it about that particular moment that you saw from them?
It was actually the way they had all those girls screaming. I thought, this is pretty exciting that people can get up on stage and sing and play instruments and people go crazy.
How old was you at the time?
We were young.
Okay.
Hey, there you go. Great.
So you were at an age where you were surely inspired by things going on.
Well, that was the first thing that made me realize that I wanted to be into music.
Okay.
And then when I was a young boy, and my mom and her then boyfriend, he never officially became my stepfather, but he was a candidate.
Okay.
And back in those days, you could take minors into venues in Chicago, and we did a weekend trip to Chicago, and I saw a young Aretha Franklin before she became the Queen of Soul. And I kept bugging my mom all night long, who is that lady playing the piano? And I remember it was a lady in a nice gown, and she had big bust, and she really looked nice, and she kept saying, that's Reverend Franklin's daughter, and I kept saying, who's Reverend Franklin? I mean, I didn't know.
Right.
Then we moved to Seattle, Washington, and I saw that lady again that we saw in Chicago on American Bandstand. I said, Mom, that's that woman we saw in Chicago. And by now she had done I Never Loved a Man in Respect, and she was the Queen of Soul. So you connect the dots from the Beatles to Aretha.
Yeah.
And I was like hooked.
Wow.
Then I was like, when I was in high school, I used to write for the school paper. I went to Shortridge. Shortridge Blue Devils, shout out to all.
Shout out to Shortridge.
Shout out to Shortridge.
Still hanging in there.
And I wrote for the school newspaper, so I would go to all the rock concerts or whatever kind of concerts, get a press pass and interview the artists. Then I used to hang out with Sunshine Promotions. It used to be the best promotions company here in Indianapolis that brought all the major concerts to town. I got to meet all the stars, and I became friendly with them. Then I went to the Average White Band concert. If anybody knows Average White Band.
Yes.
Pick up the pieces, cut the cake, person to person, cloudy, and all that.
Okay.
This group named Manchild opened up for the Average White Band down at the convention center.
Okay, I know
and way back in the day, when I was flirting around in bands, I was managed by this rip-off artist whose name I will not mention.
Wow.
Is he still around today?
At least if he is, I hope he's not ripping anybody off.
Wow.
So the leader of Manchild is a guy by the name of Reggie Griffin.
Okay.
And Reggie and I were acquainted with each other because we had the same manager. And I walked up to them after the gig was over and, congratulated them on a great performance and everything. And Reggie kind of said, "What are you doing now?" I said, "I just formed a new funk rock band. But after seeing you guys, I don't think I'm going to do it anymore because you guys are so bad." He said, "Well, here's my number. Give me a call tomorrow." So I went home thinking that night, what does Reggie want me to give him a call about? I called him the next day, and he said, "I don't think I know anybody that knows as much about the music business as you do, as young as you are." And he said, "I want you to come see us at this nightclub called Gordy's Lounge, which used to exist at 38th and Church.
Gordy's Lounge.
Yeah. And I said, okay, why am I going to see Manchild at Gordy's Lounge? I went up to Gordy's Lounge to see them. They were good. They told me after they finished their set to wait upstairs. They all went downstairs. I said, maybe they're going to come up and kill me. I don't know what's going on here. And they came up and said, guess what? You're our manager now. We want you to join the band and play Briefcase.
Wow.
I was like, play Briefcase? Are you serious? And that was October of 1975.
Okay.
And that was my foray into the management side of the music business. I've always written songs and produced songs, but that was where I got baptized as a manager. And for people that know the history of Indianapolis music scene, Babyface became a member of Manchild.
Yeah.
And that's where I became, well, I knew him before Manchild. He was in a group called Tarnished Silver. But I knew his brother Melvin, who was in a group with me, and that's how I'd met Kenny prior to him joining Manchild. So Kenny and I became great friends during the Manchild years, and then he formed a band after he left Manchild called April, and I still managed him there, and that's when we wrote Slow Jam. And so that's kind of the back history. Nowadays, if we move forward,
for sure.
I have my own company.
Yeah.
Obviously, there's a whole lot in between.
For sure.
Moving forward. And, I have my own company. It's called MECAP Music. That's MECAP. We have a website called MECAPmusicandEntertainment.com.
What does that stand for?
Musical Entertainment Consulting and Production.
Okay.
I thought you were going to catch me on.
Yeah.
I never sleep, dude. I never sleep. And, we have about 12 clients. I represent hip-hop artists, R&B artists. R&B is my favorite form of music.
For sure.
But the hip-hop has to be clean. In 2014, I think it was, I made a decision that no longer would I represent as a consultant, as a producer, as a manager, as anything that required a parental advisory sticker. And that came about as a result. I used to manage this group out of the South called the Field Mob.
Oh, I love the Field Mob.
Wow.
And I was partly responsible for getting their deal with Universal MCA Records. And we were on a promotional tour one time, and we swung through Indianapolis, and we went by my mom's place. And she sent a basket of fruit and candy and things out to the boys. And she said, bring the boys in and give me one of their CDs. And I was like, Mom. She said, well, I like LL Cool J. And I said, this is nothing like LL Cool J. And that stayed in my mind, thinking that all of my years of being in bands and with Manchild, they used to practice in my mom's basement and Kenny's band April. And my mom had been in my career, my entire music career, and I never had music that she couldn't hear. And I started thinking, something is wrong if you're making something that everybody can't hear. But I shamelessly continued working with Ratchet and parental advisory hip-hop because at that particular point in time, R&B was deader than a doorknob, and rap was the only thing that was giving you any cheddar.
Right.
So I did it begrudgingly, but then I got to the point where I got cock diesel enough to say, hey, dude, if you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything, and you don't like cursing music, and you don't like it when black people call each other the N-word, so you're just you're gonna cut that out.
Yeah.
So in 2014, I called up all of my rap clients and had them get on a conference call with me, and I said, you all are grown, and you can use explicit language if you want to, but if you use explicit language, you cannot any longer be a part of MECAP. And is there anybody that wants to leave this conference line? I heard crickets, and nobody said anything. So then I started doing roll call. Well, man, we still here. We're not leaving. We just got to change up our game. So that's how that came about.
Okay.
I mean, that's a huge step, man, because, when you look at people, when they do music, they want to be able to express themselves in whatever way, shape, shape or form. But to reach the youth, some people say that, you have to dumb it down. And a lot of, dumbing it down is just every other word is a curse word. You know what I'm saying? So, like with Jay-Z's album where, he's talking about all this, conscious stuff. Some people were arguing saying that it was too out there. Yeah, too smart. You know what I'm saying?
I've never heard that.
That's a shame.
Yeah, but
that's a shame.
Did 50 get mad at him because like 50
man, he's ignorant, man, for that.
You've been too smart.
Too
50
smart.
chimes in anytime somebody doing something good, they put his name out there.
But my question is, so what do you say to people that say, well, you guys should be cursing, and just dumb it down because you're not going to be able to reach the youth if you don't do that?
Well, we live in a sad testimony of our culture and our society if the only way we can reach our youth, especially our African-American youth, is through cursing. Because I hear young black kids cursing like sailors already. And what we need to do, rather than dumb it down, we need to upgrade. So you're not going to get anywhere in this world because black people only make up 11% of the population in America. And you are not going to get anywhere in this world being ratchet. You're going to be in the hood, and look where the hood is. So I'm not saying you have to be what some people would call a sellout, because by no means am I a sellout. Some people might think I'm militant if you read my Facebook post. I am a straight with no chaser sort of guy.
For sure.
And I am black, and I'm proud to be black, and I'm nobody's N-word.
Right.
And I'm not going to accept the mispronunciation of the river Niger, and then people talk about using it as a term of endearment. We did not create the word, and the word was never used as an endearing word. So for black people to say we're flipping it and we're endearing it, you can't make a negative be a positive when you didn't create the negative to begin with. I'm very sorry.
You know what? I want to touch on that because I watched a debate with Michael Eric Dyson.
Yeah, I saw that.
And Boyce Watkins, and they were talking, about the N-word. And Boyce was like, he doesn't like it. But Michael was like, nah, it's a term of endearment. We've all used it. I mean, I don't use it as much as I did when I was, younger. But what do you say to those that that are like, that you can take a negative and make it a positive? The same with soul food. So-called soul food, were given to the slaves. They were
scraps.
Yeah, and then they turn into something.
A lot of what happens in our culture is because we don't know any better. And if you don't know any better, then guess what? You don't do any better. So what do you say when you know better and you still keep doing dumb stuff?
Yeah.
First of all, the N-word will get people fired at a lot of jobs if a person says that word. I mean, where you're from in Cincinnati, they have a collaborative agreement with the police department, and if white cops say it or black cops say it, they get fired.
Oh, wow.
Yes, and a lot of social media is starting to not allow people to use it in their name because they're saying, why is it acceptable for you to say it, but a Japanese person can't say it or a Caucasian person can't say it? So if you're going to call it a slur and an epithet, so then why can you say it and get away with it? You can't make a good out of a bad like that.
Can I push back on that just a little bit?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I want to say we kind of, by making the bad good, we took the power from the word. That word, like my parents' generation, that word would break them down. They would get together, huddle up, and cry about it.
The ER or the A?
The ER or the A.
Okay.
If a white person said it to them, we took the power out of the word. But we took and made it mean something else. And I feel like that's just a generational gap. Like they don't understand. Because if Ray E looked at me like, hey, this is my friend, and then he'd be like, but this is my, that means something different. And anybody from that generation knows. Like, that's my buddy, that's my associate, but this
that's
is
what
my,
Master used to say. That's my end.
Hey, that's a good point, man.
That's what I was about to say.
I want to touch on that now.
Hey,
you're gonna need a mic, bro.
Yeah. No, just swing it to him.
I got you. Now, based off what you said,
There
based off what you said, would you particularly say that we took that power away from it, or was it just a completely different generation? Because as he said, when he was growing up, it meant something different because from who it was coming from. Sometimes words or actions mean something completely different based off of who it's coming from and the nature that they're coming from and the nature they're using with it.
Very true.
So him looking at it the way he did was because it was used derogatory versus him.
Yeah. That was the civil rights era. It's a whole different time.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, based off the time period. So did we really take the power away from it? Because right now, to this very day, like you said, the way he grew up, if somebody of Caucasian descent or somebody else said that to him, like they'll be upset. Yeah. Now, fast forward to right now, if I say it to you, you won't be upset, right? But if you walk outside this door right now, the police officer said it to you.
I'll probably laugh it off.
So the power isn't taken away from it, just based off of who it's coming from in a different generation.
Well, what I was gonna say, we have taken. The reason I say we're taking the power from it, because that's not the only word we've taken the power from. Let's say the B word. In the 90s, you call a girl a B, she'll fight you in the classroom.
Oh, yeah.
But right now, girls are tattooed the word on them and refer to them they friends and
I'm a bad B.
So
but it's still all in dummying down, where we've accepted bad as being good, and that's not a good thing. I deal with a lot of young rappers, and I think that I'm pretty hip in knowing stuff. I don't care what age bracket you are. Calling somebody an N is not a good thing. The first time I ever got called one was when I went to college. and I went into the store to buy a Billboard magazine, a Pepsi, and some snacks because the little store in town where I went to college in Indiana wasn't very far from the campus, and it was walking distance. I walked up to the counter, laid my items up there to pay for them, and the clerk said, "How many of you Eggers are up there on campus this year?"
Oh, wow.
But he said the word, and I was like, "What did he say?" I said, "Excuse me?" He said, "No, excuse me. I said, how many of you Eggers are on campus this year?" That billboard and those goodies are still hanging on the counter because I walked out to go back to campus like, oh, my God. And as I was walking back to campus, a pickup full of white boys said, "Hey, Egger." And I was like, oh, boy, here we go. My maternal side of my family came from Pulaski, Tennessee, which is the birthplace of the Ku Klux Klan. So on my mother's side of the family, I never heard the N-word. My father's side of the family, they were much more ratchet. It was a little different. They used it like chewing gum. But on my mother's side of the family, because that word had such a stench to it, being that they were from Pulaski, we just never had that word in my household or around my maternal family. If somebody said it, it was like the kids go, "Oh, you said a bad word." And see, the disconnect with today's young people is they really don't know our black history. That one little month in February doesn't get it.
Yeah.
Because they don't know the things that we created as people and the kings and queens that we came from. And if they knew our history, they would never let it roll off of their tongue of calling another black person the N-word, and however you pronounce it, nor would they call a human being female the B-word.
Yeah.
I'm telling you.
Right. But don't you think that's part of the reason why that our youth or us, just in general don't know our history is because we have been taught to leave it in the past.
Yes.
We're somewhat ashamed of it, and there's a disconnect between perhaps my generation and the younger generation, but you reach one, you teach one, and maybe they'll spread. And like for people that started to disassociate with Skip's music, because he didn't curse anymore, I did not make him stop cursing. He came to that conclusion on his own because he had an encounter with his grandmother where he couldn't play something, and he thought, boy, I want my granny to be proud of my music too, and I can't play this kind of stuff. So it depends. Some people, let's be honest, some people have ratchet parents.
Yeah.
There are some people that smoke drugs with their parents. They engage in other kind of activities with their parents that I will not say. And their parents are like their homeboy and their homegirl. I don't agree with that. Some people call their parents by their first name. Some people, their mother support their type of ratchet rap. And their mother is just as bowed and lit as they are. But, to me, there needs to be a separation between parent and child, regardless of how old you are. It's a respectful thing. When you hear guys going down the street, like in the summertime months, and all that N-word, B-word, suck this, do that. That's just not good. When you're riding down the street and everybody hears that, and if you ever stand around, sometimes you see people turn around and look, you want to hear that kind of crap. I mean, you're grown, maybe you have a right to do it, but there needs to be some sense of edit mode. Now, I do not tell rappers that they cannot curse. I just simply tell them that I don't represent them. I had an RnB singer one time that I represented, and he started to curse. Got rid of him. RnB should not have cursing in it. R. Kelly and Chris Brown and Trey Songz and those type of people that do that kind of thing. Yeah, there is a lane that likes that. I recognize that. The ratchet people, they rear their ugly heads and they like what they like. But I guarantee you at the end of the day, that Al Green and Luther Vandross and Marvin Gaye and Babyface music will last for the ages, and those people will be more trendy.
Oh, yeah.
And I like stuff that has lasting power rather than trendy power.
I got a question for you, though. I got one question for you. I seem like we police ourselves crazily. Do you, watch TV shows with cussing? If a movie comes on, they cuss, are you going to turn it off?
That's a good question.
No, not necessarily.
Okay, see, that right there is why I always push back, because I think that's, like you said, the black community is hypocritical. I thought that's such hypocritical. This little kid making money rapping, we're going to judge him a certain way, but Denzel Washington get on TV, shoot somebody in their head, call him a B word, call him an N word, and at the end of the movie, you And that should have won a Grammy.
Here's how I can clap back. I know that expression too. I can clap back on you on that one. And here we go. Okay, here's the problem. Our young black kids of today are not able with their feeble minds to separate the difference between entertainment value and real life. That too many of them start to emulate what they hear in their music or what they see in the movies. Like they want to, like when they see the rappers sag, they sag. When they see the rappers wear gold and get gold chains and gold in their mouth, they want to do that. So if you could understand, like Snoop Dogg does not live in the hood. He has servants, and he's very wealthy. But you hear these rappers disingenuously rap about things that they are really not about. There's a rapper out of Atlanta that just is, I think he's going to go on some tour dates with Future, and I'm friends with his uncle. And his uncle and his mom went to see him in concert a couple of weeks ago in Atlanta, and they almost had heart attacks. They were so astounded at what came out of his mouth because he was talking about the struggles he'd been through in his life, didn't have a pair of shoes, lived in the hood. His mom said, this boy never struggled a day in his life. We live in the suburbs. In other words, he's not keeping it real. So that's what I like about my client Skip. When he raps, everything is 100% authentic and it's real. Sitting up telling people that you're living in some sort of ghetto life and times are hard for you and that's not really who you are, that sets a bad example for our young minds who hear that stuff and see that kind of thing, and then they want to emulate that because their role models become these rap stars. Their role models become these athletes, and that's why I have a problem with the way you stated what you stated. I'm a grown man. I could, if I wanted to, go out and purchase a parental advisory album. But there's a law that says you're supposed to be a certain age to even buy cigarettes or to buy a parental advisory album. Or when they rate a movie and you go to the theater, people at certain ages. But see, what has happened now in our society is we have the 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17-year-old kids with all the parental advisory sticker versions of the rap songs. And legally, they're not supposed to have them because they're still minors. That's my point.
No, I understand.
Wow, okay.
I think it's a good point. Last thing that we can go on. I just want to say,
I mean, you're good.
I just think we police ourselves unlike any other culture. I've never seen it. If a black man does something crazy and he's on the news, we be on Facebook, we got to do better, we got to do better. There's a white rapist right now. They looking for him. Ain't no white person on there like, we need to do better. They got a opioid, how you say it, heroin epidemic going on.
Oh, yeah.
They ain't on here, we need to do this.
There's no war on drugs now.
Yeah, exactly. They're giving them free needles and a drug-free zone. Y'all go over there and get high. We ain't gonna mess with you. We'll give you some free needles. We don't want y'all to spread that disease. But we police ourselves totally different. Adam Sandler can do a movie in a dress, and we laugh. Martin Lawrence do a movie in a dress. People on Facebook, the black man got to be in a dress to make it.
Yeah.
It's just like I just don't get
Illuminati
it.
and all that. Illuminati and all that.
It's not competitive. It's almost like we're broken, like a broken woman. How she would look at other relationships. She's going to look through broken lenses. So we like policing ourselves for nothing. Nobody else does that. One more thing. My fault. The number one consumer of hip hop is white people. Now, if they don't, why ain't they out here killing people? Why ain't they doing this? Because it's not what they're saying is not true. Simple as that.
Caucasians had the highest number of mass killings.
Get on the mic.
Well,
we talking about, we
talking about. We gotta.
And Brandon, I want you to chime in on that.
I was just gonna kind of what Sid was talking about with Snoop Dogg and how he is living lavishly. But you think about when it comes to hip hop, who are we talking about in the songs? We're talking about black people.
Yeah.
Like in this, you don't got this. I got all this money over here. Like we are talking down on each other every day.
Yeah.
Every day in the songs, and like my generation, we look up to the dope boys, or quote unquote, we think are the dope boys, and even the ladies in our our young black women, they want a man that can buy them purses and weaves and all these unnecessary things that these guys are talking about, and it's becoming a problem in our society.
Type of female that wants that. You said lady.
So
I would debate you to say that the type that want that would not be ladies.
Okay.
A real lady is not really interested in a b-boy. not a real lady.
Right.
There's one of our viewers, George Middleton, who was a guest on our show. Shout out to the book he has out. We'll get that. It's called, what is it? Beliefs Limiting. What is it? George, chime in for me.
Yeah, please post the name of your book, George. Please.
No, I got it. Beliefs Limiting Authentic Cultural Knowledge. Okay. There it is. There it is. So get that book. But George was saying that is it our culture or is it the powers that be? Because at the end of the day, who's controlling the narrative financially when it comes to this? You know, I see it all the time where there's young people being grabbed off the streets and they're making noise in their cities. You got these executives going and finding them and putting money behind them, and all of a sudden what they're doing is accepted. So now they see that, well, that dude got money based on how he was rapping, so I'm going to rap the same way. So is it our culture or is it, the powers that be controlling what's going out into the streets?
You make a very valid point. If you look at the rise of ratchet or gangster rap, the major labels, when they were booming, and they are not booming now, when they started to disinvest in R&B at a certain point in the late 90s, and it moved into sort of a hip-hop.
Because R&B had a real push. It was everything.
So what they started finding out is that $500,000 budget that they had to spend on R&B, now they only have to spend $50,000 on gangster rap, because it's usually just one rapper, and he comes in with cuts and scratches and transforms, and it doesn't require session musicians and the kind of promotion that you have to do for R&B, so it was cheaper. So they started doing a whole lot of prototyping. They'd find young carpet bag here, young wallpaper here, your homeboy hanging with the pants down, gold teeth mug, brother this, brother that, all over the country, like whoever it was that you said it, somebody that said that. Okay, so once that stuff started to not sell anymore, but they had already ruined our culture because they had made that stuff be the example of which
NWA
and everybody was living by that code. And so then once it stopped selling, then we had the rise of the independents who didn't know any better. They saw someone like Drake or Nicki Minaj get a deal from making a mixtape because they started to see that getting major label deals was more difficult now because the major labels had disinvested in rap. Then people started doing mixtapes. And the whole concept of mixtapes totally got screwed up. It wasn't what a mixtape was supposed to be. People were making what was really like an album but calling it a mixtape, trying to get noticed to hope they could be the next Drake or the next Nicki Minaj and get signed. So now we've got a whole bunch of young black kids across America that are what I call the monkey see, monkey do syndrome. They don't know any better. Like he was talking about the Cincinnati rap scene, there's very few conscious rappers from the Cincinnati scene. They all are kind of in that lane of ratchet and gangster stuff, you know. Whereas in Indianapolis, there is, you have Skip.
There is a level of hip-hop consciousness.
You have people that play with live bands here. I mean, it's a little bit more of a variety. And it could have to do with the fact that Indianapolis is the 15th largest city and Cincinnati is the 65th largest city. But Cincinnati has a great R&B tradition. I mean, you have Bootsy. You have all of these people. You had James Brown recorded for King's Records there. You have Midnight Star based out of there. You have The Deal. You have so many people in R&B that made Cincinnati just be worldwide. But Indianapolis has never had a rapper that has made it worldwide. The biggest rapper from this city would be Mark Battles at this particular point.
Shout out to Mark Battles.
But Mark's appeal is mainly to the mainstream audience. The hood doesn't really know that much about Mark Battles.
Can you tell who the mainstream audience is?
It's Caucasian people. And the two biggest demographics that buy the most recorded music are white females between the ages of 13 to 23 and the LGBTQ community. And if you don't make music that appeals to those two demographics, you're not going to have streams that amount to anything because their sales are just pishy nowadays. And you're certainly not going to have sales because the B-boys, the ones that are out here wheeling and dealing in pharmaceuticals, they don't buy music.
D-boys.
Right.
They don't buy music. They don't buy music. But they might say they like Yo Gotti or Gucci Mane or NBA Baller, this or that, or Young Thug or Rich Homie Quan. They don't buy music.
Right. Why do y'all think it's highly accepted in our culture? Like, we know about the systematic things that's going on and how we've gotten to this point. What do you think it is that young people want to gravitate to all the ignorance? Is it because that's that's all that they're seeing? What is it?
I mean, that's the main thing. But
I don't think it's necessarily that they want to gravitate to it. It's kind of like your nature versus nurture type thing. A person, for the most part, becomes whatever their surrounding is. That's why I was kind of agreeing with you about the whole thing about how we police our own culture. It's because we have to. Because nobody else is holding us to that standard.
Right.
Because they're
hold
looking
each other
at us.
accountable.
So they're looking at us like, like you said, like, okay, if like just quote unquote Dave Chappelle went on a movie and word and dress.
Yeah.
No other culture is going to say anything, or no other race is going to say anything because they have no vested interest in us.
But no, we was talking about like Adam Sandler do it. White people they don't even look at that as a thing. They're like, haha, it's funny.
But that's because
Miss Doubtfire.
But,
I watched it as a kid. We all laughed.
But wouldn't that have
black
something?
person do it?
But wouldn't that have something to do with the nature of the people? I mean,
That's what I'm saying.
we are more spiritual. Than
African Americans worldwide are the most spiritually practicing race. Period.
Misinformed.
From my study, and I mean, I guess, and to tell you, I'm actually in social work, so I'll go through psychology and things of that nature. From my understanding, black people are the most spiritually practicing people on the planet. Not just African Americans here in America. I'm speaking
Africans worldwide.
Yes, Africans worldwide. Period. Now, like I said, it's more like he said. It's not more of just of the culture. It's more of what they're pushing. Because if a person doesn't live in a certain neighborhood, they don't know how we act. They don't know that. So if you're in California and they see somebody like me in Indianapolis and I'm on TV shooting, that's the only example they have to go off of. So they start to interpret that mentally as like, okay, that's how they are. So unless they're actually there in that environment with you,
they may not know.
They don't know. So that's why I believe I agree with you wholeheartedly. We have to fix our own image. That's why we have to police ourselves.
I mean, let's look at music in general.
We can agree to disagree.
We have the greatest musicians that play drums, bass, keyboards, saxophone, trumpet, what have you. But that's been dummied down because now everybody wants to be a rapper. There are hardly any young black kids playing instruments anymore. And when they see people playing instruments, they're like, what is that? It's
like, how do you do that?
I mean, it's like, we have to do better to get better.
Right.
And I just, we're hypocritical. We're very critical. We see things and we like to clap back. We like to make drama because we have been systematically programmed to hate on each other. And it's the crabs in the barrel syndrome. It's like a lot of people.
See, that's what I'm saying. That's what I think we're doing.
Yeah,
by hating on the rappers.
But that still does not mean that we should not want to do better. It's like you hardly see news stories about young black kids that made straight A's, they got a scholarship to college, that are doing things. All you see is all the shootings and all the drug dealings and all that kind of thing. Or you hear, oh my God, they do that gangster rap. But somebody like Brian Thompson, who's a young kid here in Indianapolis that plays saxophone, you don't see him, but you'll see the guy that's selling drugs on the corner. We do have to help ourselves do better because we only make up 11% of the population.
Right.
Yeah.
And I do.
Yeah, I want to touch on that for 1 second. Now, who controls the narrative? As far as like the message that is being, sent out.
I was gonna say.
Because when you think about it, when you look at rap, hip hop, or whatever you want to call it now. I mean, I don't know what it is now, but you listen to the message. So these owners of these labels, I mean, they're basically saying that this is how you have to sound. This is what you have to do in order to make it, in order to
connect with these people.
Yeah. So now you hear, just people talk about, man, popping mollies and.
Which is really
killing
interesting
each other, and hold on a second, like just like popping mollies and killing each other. But we're the only genre or people that we would do that through music. Every other genre doesn't do that. Name one. I mean, do you hear so-called like Jewish people get rap and they talk about calling themselves like derogatory names?
You just hit on something
the
very
millennial
important
ones
that I use all the time. That I say, we are the only race that uses a racial slur and epithet to refer to one another as a term of endearment. I will not say the slurs of the other races or ethnic groups, but none of them refer to each other under that. And this is why we don't get respect. Because in order to get respect from others, you have to respect yourself. I have a lot of European friends and a lot of Japanese friends. And when they come to America and they go into some of the big cities and hear a brother yell out to another brother across the street and they'll say, Sid, we're taught in our country that saying that word is a horrible word, but we hear black people calling each other that. I have no explanation for it. Because I don't use it, and I do not allow black people to call me that. I walked out of a music conference one time when someone addressed me as my N when I came in. I was out of there. I'm nobody's N.
I understand that. I want to refer to your question.
For sure.
You said, why are people drawn to certain things? I think it's about what's entertaining. Like if you got two different screens. One is an old lady being helped into a car by some young black guy. Then on this screen, you got MMA. Which one you going to watch? You gonna watch Floyd beat up McGregor, or you gonna watch the nice little boy help the old lady? It's about entertainment value. That's why we only see it in music, but in movies, you understand. What was the top 10 movies last year? They're all people getting killed. It's like the Avengers, or a whole bunch of explosions. It's number one, 100 million first weekend. Why?
But
you know what I'm saying? Why?
But it's a movie, and the people didn't really die.
Yeah, but people know that. I'm sorry, but my kids aren't feeble-minded. I got a 12-year-old and a senior at North Central High School, and they know that music is music. They like, this is entertainment. They know that. They know Eminem didn't kill his mother and put her in the closet.
You know
they
what?
know. My kids are smarter than I was smarter than that.
But see, those are great points. But I mean, I agree with both of y'all. Yeah. But here's the thing. That music becomes that kid's parent, because we come from a lot of absentee homes, man. Like where that would be a parent. But those movies really don't become that kid's parent. They listen to.
They watch TV. They would say you watch 10 hours of TV a day. Hold on, okay. And then white people buy the most. If you were right, then we'll see this in their neighborhoods. We'll see drive-bys in white neighborhoods. It'll be white boys popping Mollies at Stanford, but that's not happening.
I hear you.
That's what I was going to say. Because that's what I was going to say. Because if that's the demographic. If that's the demographic.
What do you say? 13 to 23. Break down the demographic.
Yeah, that's what
are the white girls doing?
But it shows that we're still self-inflicted.
No, it's just that's bad. Like when you got when you are trying to figure out something, you look at the evidence. Like it's like you get a hypothesis. My hypothesis is that listening to this makes this happen.
Right.
Then you be like, well, who listens to the most of this?
Right.
And you look at that group, and that's not happening to them. Then there's something else going on. That's not the reason they're selling drugs is because there's no jobs. There's no opportunity. When we were in high school, where'd you go to, Pike or North Central?
Lawrence North.
Lawrence North. Oh, shout out to y'all. We used to beat y'all all the time. But in our day, in high school, if you get in a fight,
for sure,
you go to in-school detention, get sent home.
Right.
In high school, now you get in a fight, you mess around, get a felony.
Yeah.
Now you graduate high school with a felony. Where you working at?
Nowhere.
Okay,
right.
How you gonna get your money?
So we're being targeted.
I mean, you can say that, but I'm saying now you get into that lifestyle.
So why are you fighting? That's what my question
West Side Story. Go to Carmel. They fight.
No,
they just don't get felonies.
I'm saying to you is that
that's what humans do.
When white people listen to gangster or ratchet rap, at the end of the day, they're still white, and they have a certain point in time where they outgrow that, and they can go work for a Fortune 500 company.
Right. And I think the point,
it's not a way of life for them, but for many of our young inner city kids who listen to that type of music, it becomes their way of life, and they emulate it.
And that's the difference.
Our
kids will take that and really become that. And that's the difference. Yeah, I do. And they know the difference. Yeah, my kids know the difference.
Okay, do you have kids?
But the problem is that not
do your kids know the difference?
Yeah, but not everybody teach their kids the difference, and we're still being targeted as a community.
I feel what you're saying, but right now we got all these African Americans in here, and everybody's kids understand there's a difference.
Right.
Well, your kids understand there's a difference.
But
there's somebody's kids that don't.
So we're talking about these imaginary kids.
No. There is a lot more kids out there that are not being taught the right thing.
I have a question. Hold on. because like I agree with both sides because it's one of those.
Yeah.
Now here's the thing.
It's the gray area.
Now, based off what you said. You said for the Caucasians that listen to it,
they're still white.
Yeah, they're still white, and at the end of it's true, but they're still white. So at the end of the day, they can go back to their normal.
They're not gonna be affected
life.
anyway.
Now, but you said, but for the young black child, it becomes their life. That's what you said, correct? Now, hold on. Now, okay, so let's flip it. So instead of them listening to 50 Cent and they're in the hood, let's say they're listening to Britney Spears and they're still living in the hood. As soon as they turn that tape off, they're still living in the hood. It's not that it becomes their life. It is their life. It's not like they turned that record off and then said, okay, well, this is the life I want to live. So they walked into it. They were already living in that life before that record came on.
Okay, I mean, and look, I mean, I get all of that, man. I'll use myself as an example. In high school, I didn't like No Limit.
I hated No Limit.
But I lived in the hood, right?
Yes.
That's what everybody played. Guess what Pat played? I played RnB.
Wu-Tang?
I played Wu-Tang.
Nas.
I played Nas. I played Jay-Z when everybody thought Jay was whack. So I played stuff, and when I turned it off, I went outside. Guess what? I was still me. Yeah. That's the problem. People are afraid to be who they are, but most people, or some, or however you want to say it, like they are just influenced. So they're like, I have to be this way in order to fit in. And see, that's the problem. You know, and I was never that type of person. Like, you know, I was like, look, I'm going to be me, and you know, that's it. So this is what I like, and regardless. But music controls both hemispheres of your brain. It's the only thing that does that. So if you look at psychology, it's different when you listen to music and when you watch a movie. I get everything you're saying. That's why, like, my son, I don't put my mother, on blast, but I use this as she wanted my son to watch Predator, right? The first Predator. When my son was 4 years old, I was like, nah, Ma, he's not doing that. And the first thing she said, well, he listened to rap music. It's like, Ma, he listens to clean rap. There's no cursing in that. And I watched the message that rapper is saying. Mm-hmm. Like, he's not saying, he's hustling or he's shooting people. I mean, he's talking about different stuff.
Like J. Cole or something like
that.
Yeah,
kind of, you know what I'm saying? And even, artists like Rakim or Houdini, like I play that stuff to my son. Mm-hmm. So because I know like that music, because he gets so impacted every time he hears something. Oh man, he loses it because it's controlling his entire brain.
I understand what you're saying.
That's why, man.
What I was trying to say is like the symptoms we're looking at. Let's look at this scientifically, because I hate I don't hate the gray area, but I hate the gray area we're talking about. Right. Scientific. Now, the symptoms we talking about, are we talking about drug usage? Are we talking about, like, fathers not being in the household? Are we talking about violence in the streets? What exactly are we talking about? And then we can actually see what's causing those. And I would say it's not music.
No. You're right about that.
I want to.
You know what I'm saying? The drugs come from your daddy ain't got a job. Your mama got a job.
So what do you say about Future saying, got a song talking about, man, Percocets?
I mean, I don't do Percocets.
Come on, man. But he's saying that, so guess what people are going to do? Hey, man, you know what? I want to go try that.
I see what you're saying. It's advertising for drugs. I can see that.
And look, and to me,
but that's pretty much what he's saying.
But to me, that's crazy.
Yeah.
To advertise that, and we are the main people that do that in our music.
No, rock and roll started.
Listen, rock and roll do that, but guess what?
Don't say because they're white. I mean, you putting the black people down. Like,
no.
Black brains don't matter. White brains are great.
No.
What are we saying right now?
No. What I'm saying is that the music now, as far as like what you call rap, I mean, a lot of the mainstream, like, Percocets. Come on, man, that's ridiculous, man. I mean, got a whole song talking about Percocets.
No, that was if you're 11 years old, that may make you want to try a perk. Hopefully, 11-year-old can't get hands on. I understand what you're saying. But
my little sister is 14. Mm-hmm. Okay, she was 13 last year whenever that song came out.
Yeah, and
she was singing it and like asking questions like, oh, what's Percocets? Is that? I'm like, okay, she's already being curious about what that is.
Yeah, but see, I think movies do that. I remember as a kid watching Menace to Society, and I wanted that 5.0 that Kane had. I wanted that. Mm-hmm. I went out and brought every color Dickies because I love the way MC8 wore his Dickies. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. That's real life. You see a car, you see a girl. I wanted a girl belly. The dark-skinned chick.
Oh, yeah.
I love dark-skinned chicks for the rest of my life because of that young lady. My girl dark, everything I mess with dark. I walk past 6 light-skinned girls that get to the dark one.
Hey, Keisha was mean.
Like, where your dark friend at? You know what I'm saying?
Hey, Keisha was mean.
So let's not act like that. That's
so let me ask you this. So Kane was your role model growing up.
Not role model. I wanted that car.
Yeah.
James Bond, I wanted that BMW, and I bought it when I had enough money.
So these are people that we, in movies that you would look up to. In the rap game with our culture right now, those are who they're looking up to. Those are the role models in the house. Young Dolph is the man of the house right now.
I just bumped it, but nobody wants to be like Dolph. I guess maybe I'm detached. Maybe this is a generational thing. Maybe the people. I'm 38.
Hey man.
So maybe a 18-year-older is slow.
When I was at Hal as a behavior counselor, when Chief Keef was out, oh my goodness. The whole school. I'm talking about, man.
Went crazy.
I'm talking about, man. Like I remember one day.
The murder rate went.
Oh man! Fight when that song come on.
Yeah.
Tear the club up. Remember Tear the Club Up when we was kids?
Yeah.
People, somebody get stumped out.
But do you see the influence though?
Yeah. But that's the same thing like a mosh pit. They dump music. That's what you do at a party.
So, but here's the defining factor.
But people aren't doing that in a movie theater.
No. Here's the defining factor, and this is why it matters so much to us right now. Is because we're not looked at the same.
That's what I was trying to say. It's the
From
perception.
The world.
Society.
Yeah,
everybody.
We're not.
I think y'all saying white people.
Well, no. I'll say everybody.
I'm with him on that.
I mean,
because it's just not white folks.
It's only a small percentage of black people that are ratchet. But they're the ones that make all the headlines.
They're publicized
because they do the most.
Right. Reality TV publicized,
which
is
crime
publicized.
And this is real.
When a black person do something in sports, publicized.
And this is real.
All these things are the defining factors. At the end of the day, is why we're looked at it that way. See, we are level-headed. We have kids that can decipher what's what. You know what I'm saying? We know we can decipher what's what. The problem is that there's a whole generation of kids that can't. And a lot of it is because when they turn on the news, when they turn on TV, they're getting these influences. And then when they turn on the news, which is supposed to be the media of realness, they look at their brothers and sisters and families on TV as criminals. So now they're getting nothing good.
I can understand.
And jail is not even looked at as a bad thing.
Right.
They say, I'm got to go lay down and do this little
let me do this quick 10 years.
I think
serious?
I think we're literally just looking at this through an African American lens. Like I work in Noblesville. Guess who's in the Noblesville jails? Guess who's in there? White people.
Oh yeah.
Why are the white people in there?
But I'm not white, so I can only look at things through my perspective, and it's my people that need some help.
I just think
white people are all right. They're in control. They're all right. They're all right.
I don't know.
Well, he's speaking, but listen, but he's speaking from the '60s, man, to now. So I mean that's huge. So like his perspective is going to be much greater. I mean, look, like I'm an '80s baby, right? My grandmother, man, was born in the '30s. She saw Strange Fruit, okay. She lived through black and white water fountains. So when I have conversations with her, you know about racism and stuff, I just listen because
I understand exactly what you're saying, but that's kind of my point. Like if you go through something traumatic, he broke down a great point when he went to the store and the dude was like, "Yeah, where the Iggers at?" or something. That's traumatic.
Yeah.
Okay. That's why I compared it to a broken woman. Like if a woman get raped, she ain't gonna think her sense of humor is different. She ain't gonna laugh at certain jokes. So if she go to a club, they slap her on the booty like how we do at the clubs. That part, that mess her. It's touchy to her.
It's touchy.
It's super touchy to her. Why? Because she went through that.
Yeah.
She is a different perspective. We have a different perspective, and I feel like we have to stop. I feel like it's almost like self-hate. If this is what self-hate sounds like, when like how you
definitely
look at
self-hate.
It is.
Like
the way he looks at the N word is the way I look at the ratchet word. Like if you call my music ratchet,
I got you.
I look at that's like me calling you the N word. Like you dissing me. That's a diss. Ratchet is only cool to like girls with weaves that snap their fingers when they talk. Like
so
so
there's no wrong here. It's just a perspective.
Yes.
I mean, there's a timeline.
That's what I'm saying.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, it's because what he went through. Like I said, if a girl get raped, she gonna look at life different. She's broken. She's not whole anymore. We as a people were broken. They were beat, water hoses, dogs. Couldn't even go to school. It took the army had to come let this little girl in school. I think that was in Arkansas. You know what I'm saying? So,
but in reality,
so that's what happened.
But stepping into the modern times, things haven't really changed that much.
Yeah, and that's what I was going to ask you.
They're just a little bit different.
And that's exactly
when you look at who's in the White House and you look at the Congress and the Supreme Court, the gains that were made in the '60s, they're almost on reverse now. Bro. So the things that I experienced when I was younger and the history that I have, this is why we need to educate our young black kids that some of them, they just think everything is fine. They don't realize that they're marked before they even get started. So if you go out here and you act a certain way and do certain things, like you said, the ones that fight and they get arrested now, they have a felony. Okay, you said the reason some of the people sell drugs is because there are no jobs. Well, some of them create their own misery, because if you came from a family which had foundation and had some sense of guidance, then you would try to teach those kids to stay in school, not pop mollies, sell drugs,
Percocets,
and what all that. You would teach them to get a job, even if it's go to a trade school. And who does that where it's acceptable? Like, I know some families where the mothers, when one of the sons maybe went to college and he required people to send him money to help him while he was in college, and I've heard a mother say things like, "You ought to be like your brother," because the brother's out here hustling and he's getting the mother minks and Pradas and all this kind of stuff. Who does that? I'm saying that in our community too many times, bad is endorsed as good and good is endorsed as bad.
Sir, you know what? I want to add, you know what? Here, I'm sorry. He's going to get to the viewer question. I'm sorry.
All right, we have a question from George Middleton. He's saying, what quality of life areas does the black community outperform any other cultural group in the following? Wealth, education, employment, entrepreneurs, health, and family.
Wow.
None
of them.
I don't get the question. He's saying, what do we outperform other cultures in?
Yes, like for example, just for example, like even here, you know, Little Mexico.
Yeah, West Side.
Exactly.
West Side. Yeah.
So when you go to Little Mexico, you see like if
they don't self-hate, they love each other.
No, I understand, but
because they have a sense of where they come from.
They have a, there's also something behind it too, but they have like a Little Mexico. They have their own grocery store, like their own doctors they go to, and if they go to work outside of their community, but then they come back to their community, spend their money in their community. So pretty much what he's saying is like, in what other area do we outperform any other cultural group?
Look, I noticed that he didn't list any of the ones that we do outperform in, because there's only because there's only 3.
Sports.
And we already know that. Sports, TV, and music. See, but we have to understand that and let our kids know that there's other things they can get into.
Yeah, exactly.
But I was going to say,
I just want to stay on subject from what his question is.
Exactly.
That's the same thing.
There are other jobs in the music business other than being a rapper, because being a rapper is not very profitable.
Right, you got a composer,
because music is not selling now.
Well,
so you can be an engineer.
Well, my response to this question would be, because we're different from every culture. Like, the black experience in America is a very unique thing.
Yeah.
What we are living, this is like, let's say if the Jews got free after the Holocaust and stayed in Germany. Like, y'all stayed in Germany. After they was killing all y'all stayed in Germany, and then you got to go to the store, and they probably going to talk to the guy talked to you. You know what I'm saying? We are like POWs. Like, we're still here. The Jews, once they got free from the Holocaust, man, they went to America. They went to South America. They went to Australia. They left Germany. They didn't want nothing to do with Germany. We went through that same experience, but we're still here.
And they were giving money, too.
Yeah,
they were giving money.
Well, it's because they won. After 1948, they won the war. We gave them land. We gave them Israel. Israel didn't exist before 1948.
I mean, I can go into that.
You know what I'm saying? They wrote themselves in. I know.
Actually, Israel did.
It was Palestine. Look on the map. It was Palestine. It wasn't no Israel. Israel was a city or
no. It's called the States of Israel, but the actual land was Israel. That's biblical, but that's another conversation.
Yeah, that's biblical. I'm talking about a map.
Another conversation.
If you get a map pre-1948, there's no Israel. You know what I'm saying?
They call it the state.
No, they call it Palestine.
No. I said 1948. They call it the state of Israel.
Yeah, before then, but the map says Palestine, that same little piece of land. So imagine if the Jews stayed in Germany, how would they be treated? And then you'll be able to answer his question. They'll be treated like us. That's what I said.
All right, the second question from George, and he says, doesn't music reinforce the life, or does it inspire it to do better?
Reinforced. I think music is like the news. Music is like the news. Like somebody like Cameron, or go outside and get in a fight, or make a jug, sell some drugs or whatever, and then put it in the song. It's like they're rapping about what's happening. Especially like think about anybody know the Grind family? Y'all, Indiana?
Yeah.
The Grind family. The music was so real. They played the music in the courtroom. They used that as the evidence. The dude, his raps was so real. He told the street he shot dude on. He said how many times he shot him. He talked about the getaway car, everything. So it's like the news. It's not like,
is that good?
No,
I mean, that's not good at
So
all.
saying,
I mean, to incriminate yourself.
I'm not saying that's good, but I'm saying it's kind of like they're describing what's going on outside.
And that's called real. That kind of real can miss me.
No, like reality. like if you lived in, I don't know, Japan and
MF
a
Doom got
geisha
a song
girl
on that.
Yeah,
MF Doom.
Yeah,
shout
out to the Grind family. Dude just got out of jail. He got a show coming up September 20-something at Limelight. So Skrilla, free Skrilla. He's out. I ain't gotta say free Skrilla. But what I'm saying is that they're describing what's happening. These things. All right, here's a good one. In the 70s, these dudes was doing heroin. They was killing each other, and they was bumping Marvin Gaye, and they was leaving their kids at home and going out and doing this, and they was bumping Al Green.
But that's the question. That's the question that I wanted to ask him. But go ahead,
y'all can go ahead. Get off my rap music, people.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Okay, like my question, sir, for you. Okay, now you grew up in the '60s, right? What was the change between the '60s and the '70s? Because I mean, you talk about a disconnect. Those two decades, man, were just crazy. Because in the 60s, you had the freedom fighters and, like the whole liberation.
What I think occurred is that in the 60s, we made deposits. This is a manner of speaking. We made deposits in the bank. And in the 70s, we thought that our accounts were safe and were collecting interest. But we didn't check on it. It's like when you plant a crop and you have to take care of your garden. You got to go out there and keep tilling it and doing all these things to make sure your crops grow good. So in the 60s, through the civil rights movement and all of the things that went on with the Jim Crow laws and the battles with Bull Connor and all of that kind of thing, and George Wallace, everybody took it for granted that once the 64 Civil Rights Act was passed and the 65 Voting Rights Act was passed, we's free now, master. Yes, we's got it going on good. Never stopping to realize that you have to keep that going on. Because you see, we are a civil rights bill. We are not actually a part of the Constitution.
Yes.
Because we were property, and the Civil Rights Bill removed the last chains of being property.
Yeah, voting is an act.
Yeah, I mean, so, it's not a law, it's like an act. That's what happened. The gains that were made in the 60s, the 70s, we didn't advance it.
It was like, we made it, but
we
didn't.
And so now, and this is why I have the disconnect with the young people of today, because they don't know. I mean, I've dealt with rap clients that didn't know who Nelson Mandela was.
Oh, wow.
And, then how can you be in any genre and not study the genre of music?
Yeah.
You hear Migos, and you say, I want to be like Migos. But you didn't go back and study the history of hip-hop to know anything about Grandmaster Flash and the Furious Five. You don't know anything about EPMD. You don't know anything even about Nas. I mean, to me, you have to know your history in anything that you're in. So today's young people that use the N-word and think the B-word is endearing to women, they have a disconnect with our past. And in order for a man to have a future, he has to be knowledgeable of his past, his current, in order to go forward. It just doesn't start right now. Migos just didn't pop out of the egg and happen right now. Mm-hmm. And, if you consider Migos to really be real MCs, then I would say that you're not really a hip-hop aficionado.
Wow. Mm-hmm. Well, you know what? George Middleton has a question, man, for you. Okay. He said, "Are you okay with the fact that we are last in all of the categories that we need to survive as a people?"
No, I'm not okay with that. And I don't blame music. That's the difference. I don't blame music. What I was going to say is that, like the Baltimore heroin thing, that was in the 70s. It wasn't no Molly Percocet. Molly Percocet, they weren't bumping that. They was bumping I Need Love and shooting up heroin and smoking weed and doing all that type stuff. Where did that come from? Was it in the movies? Or was it something else going on? I just feel like we had the same problems then. They was leaving their families. There was violence. The jails had a whole bunch of black people in it. You sing Dolomite. You sing Goldie. You sing all the. It wasn't no Future. It wasn't no Tupac. It wasn't no MC8. It's something else.
But see, that's it. That's it.
Something else going on.
That something else is because we're not looked at the same.
No, I'm talking about like
because yeah, I understand what you're saying, but here's the thing, and this is why this is so important today, is that we really dig in and fight for the thing. I mean, and we have to do it ourselves. You said a lot of it. You said it as well, and you said it as well. We have to do a lot of this changing ourselves, and it starts with our kids. I really believe that the generation coming after us is, I would say our kids. Some of our teenagers are still stuck in that loop because they're coming off of baby mamas that were babies and they had babies. Yeah. So you once you get through that generation, you have a generation of kids who are really growing up and understanding, because there's a lot of freedom fighters out there right now, really trying to get the community together, really corralling and putting things together, kind of like what we're doing with the gray area, which is let's have a discussion about these things.
Yeah,
I love it.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man. Let's show a totally different light, because the perception on us isn't a good one. Mm-hmm. So one reason, or one of the reasons why we created this platform is to show us in a different light. You know what I mean? To show like the positive side, so people won't think, oh man, they just because the news is just slanted.
I know. That's why I watch national news. I can't even watch local news.
I don't even watch the news, bro.
The local news is like murder,
I'm
kill.
lost. I don't even know what's going on, but there's a reason, man, for that.
I understand,
because
man.
I'd rather do this and just keep my mind on positive stuff. You know what I'm saying? Because it's crazy.
But do y'all feel where they say you are what you eat?
Yes.
Like if a lot of our young kids love going to McDonald's, and that's easy for some of these single moms that there's not a real good family structure. It's real easy to just take them to McDonald's or White Castles all the time. Mm-hmm. If you eat that stuff all the time, it's going to mess you up inside.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying in terms of the gangster rap or the less than positive rap, if our young people have that only, everything can be okay in moderation. And as long as you know the separation between it's entertainment as opposed to not real. But literally all of the young black guys that are caught up in crimes and they do police chases and they run out of the vehicle, when they go to the vehicle, I've seen this happen across the country. What's playing in the dashboard are people like Yo Gotti and Gucci Mane and all that kind of stuff, because those kids, they're very amped up to that kind of music, has them amped and in a mindset, and there's no variety. Like if I listen to Yo Gotti, but I also listen to Howard Hewitt, or listen to SOS Band, or listen to Layla Hathaway, and listen to Floetry, then I have a variety. But if all I listen to is Yo Gotti and Yo Gotti type rappers, that's going to keep drumming in my head. That's what I'm saying.
Music is powerful.
Music is very powerful.
I understand that, but how do you explain like everything else that doesn't meet that formula? Like you got me, you got Ray E. Ray E came up in hip-hop. He was around a lot of hip-hoppers. I was too. Why didn't we jump out of cars shooting people and sagging?
We made a choice.
So, it's a choice involved now.
It's
not just hypnotized by the music. And also, how do you explain the crime that happened pre-Sugar Hill Gang?
That's been the entire conversation.
No, I'm saying pre-Sugar Hill Gang. How do you explain
life is about choices.
I understand.
There's always been crime, and there's going to always be crime. Mm-hmm. That's not the issue. The issue is we've got to do better.
No, I understand that. I'm just saying, bro, you from the 60s and stuff. So you was here before hip-hop, and you saw the same crimes, the same violence, the same drug usage. How do you explain it then?
I'll tell you.
Not to the level that
I can answer
see
that.
it now.
Explain it,
okay,
please.
this
without using rap.
Just just based on what my grandmother told me, she said integration helped and killed us as a people. And the reason why she said that is because in the 60s, when there was segregation, when you go to these black areas, right, they had businesses, man, they policed their own neighborhoods. When integration hit, when we talk about the Civil Rights Act, yeah, we felt like, okay, we made it. Now we are a part of the elite, like we are part of the society. So we relaxed. So now you allow these people to come in.
So relax means violence and jail.
No. I'm getting there. So I mean, and this is just based on conversations that I've had with my grandmother. So now you fast forward. Now you get to the 70s. So now you have an integrated people that are still trying to conform to this way of living. Now you have people that can come in and dictate how you got to live and how you can, make it. So now you got people that want to make it. So now you have glorifying pimping, and now drugs are like spread.
Dolomite, Goldie.
They've
been doing that. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
But if integration had never happened, I highly doubt that would have happened, because as a people, from what I was told by my elders, our mentality was on helping each other, on building each other up. When integration happened, it was like, okay, now we are a part of something, and we got relaxed. So now you have people that say, here, I'll give you this money if you act like this. Here, take this if you want to make it. Now you. So I mean, there are people. Who's the lead actor in Superfly?
Ron O'Neal.
Yeah. Ron O'Neal. Later on, man,
doing Super Coke, all that stuff. Wasn't no rap.
But later on, man, he said that he regretted even doing that role, but he wanted to make it, quote unquote, make it. So he did it.
But did you see what we're saying? We're describing. See, I want to talk about what we agree on. We agree on the symptoms that is hurting us. That we 100%. Yeah. What's your boy named George? Yeah. The list he named off, 100%. I'm in agreement with. The only part where I start to see like it sound like self-hate is when we start blaming like audio waves for making you do something that was happening in the 70s before they existed. Gangster rap started what? Coogee rap, NWA. I'd probably go NWA. Ice-T, come on, that stuff that was like 80 something. That stuff been going on.
NWA influenced a lot of.
But see, I can get on that. I can get on that. I can get on that because
shout out to NWA, but they rode on that wave of the music industry, really pumping money into our communities and saying
what's happening.
But see, I get on that.
Yeah, go tell them F the police so they can keep buying this music and all this other stuff. I get on that
because look, man, you look at early rap, you know what I'm saying?
Sugar Hill Gang.
Okay, now, but look, you look at early rap, right? It was more conscious. You had groups like X-Clan, Public Enemy, and I'm gonna tell you what song.
Arrested Development.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? But I'm gonna tell you what song made, if you want to call it the government or whoever, made them say, hold on for a second. We didn't know this genre of music, man, was going to take off this much and be that impactful to these people. Like, no. Fight the Power by Public Enemy. That video, man, watch that video.
I love that video.
And listen to that song and look at the impact that song had.
I got the
So
album.
now you got people that control the narrative. Hold on, we got to push this other genre.
I feel what you're saying, but I feel like y'all are really dancing around what I'm saying, though.
No, I'm not. No, listen, I get everything that you're saying.
Pre-rap, we had the same symptoms.
But we didn't have. But back when I was growing
we had Dolomite.
We had edit mode when I was
young.
70s. When I was younger,
that's integration.
And they used to play Red Fox and Mom's Mabley in my house.
Richard Pryor.
But I had to leave the room. I wasn't allowed to be in there when that kind of stuff was played. I became exposed
ain't like that now.
to that. No, but this is what I'm saying.
Yeah, exactly.
This is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And there is no edit mode anymore. And the lines are blurred between being a minor and being a major citizen in the black community. And we have kids now that are 12 and 13 that can tell you about things that they shouldn't even know anything about.
I agree, but we're still dancing around it. I want somebody. Can somebody give me a focused answer?
I did.
A focus. All right.
Integration changed everything.
No, okay. So
what's your question?
It literally changed our.
All right. Now the movie. Let's start. Let's do Ron O'Neal. Okay. The movie Dolomite.
Okay.
Repeat
your
question. Repeat the question. Yeah. Okay. Why did we have the same symptoms in our community pre-rap? The same symptoms. Like, look at Dolomite. That wasn't like the cut of the art, like they would tell us a foreign story.
It started in the 70s.
That wasn't a foreign story. They was telling you what was going on. These dudes out here selling coke. They got they got females that prostitute themselves.
It started in the 70s.
You know what I'm saying? And this is no Molly Percocet. This is no Eazy-E with Boys in the Hood.
This is 70s.
This is Al Green. This is Bootsy Collins. This is all this type.
I can give you the
so tell me why.
I got an answer for you too.
Simple answer.
I'm finishing the question, so I want to know why those symptoms existed before rap, but now when rap's here, we want to blame it on rap.
It's not just about rap. What has happened in our society, it's the communication network that makes it all be expanded. Because back in the 60s, when you were talking about some of the crime and various things that were not good in our society going on, and in the 70s, we did not have the communication network to get it to the masses like we get it now.
That's a great point.
And now that we have this thing called social media, people post every few minutes on World Star of people being hit by cars, beat up, all kind of dastardly deeds that happen to human beings that people be making comments on and find it humorous at other people's suffering. We didn't have the internet back then. In the 60s and the 70s and the 80s, we didn't have the internet. We didn't have where it was instantaneous news. So what you have with Rudy Ray Moore and Moms Mabley and Richard Pryor and Red Fox back then, it was more... It was almost like an underground sort of thing. It wasn't massive because we didn't have the kind of massive communication network to get it out there. Now, anything that's like music, I mean, there's no edit mode. I have a little, 13-year-old nephew. He can go on Google right now and type in Migos, even though he shouldn't be old enough to get their parental advisory music, but he can do a Google on Migos and click on the link and hear all of Migos' music. There's no parent, there's nothing that stops that.
Well, you're overboiling.
You know.
And here's some other things that real quick.
Here's one of our viewers said, here is your answer.
Please.
He said, because we don't own any of the systems that we have been discussing.
No. Why did our community have the same symptoms pre-rap? Why was there prostitutes? Why was there drug usage? Why was there violence? Why was there incarceration?
Okay.
People chose to do those things.
It has nothing to do with social media. I don't want to hear about
because
social media. I don't want to hear about Twitter. Why did that happen in the 70s?
Because there's other elements. All those things happen, like he was saying about crime and all those things. You can't get rid of those. Those things are always going to happen. But there's a lot of things happening on a political front as well as on a drug front behind the scenes and all this stuff that's going on. So a lot of the stuff that you're referencing when it comes to like the pimps and all this stuff, it was because there was drugs being pumped into our communities to force feed us on that kind of stuff.
Now I could have easily said that, but I make you think now that ain't got nothing to do with
because of integration. I mean, I was...
You saying because we have to live beside white people?
I personally think rap is a drug pumped into our community.
I love his answer.
Right, and now that the drugs,
I know.
Now that the drugs,
I'm with you. I'm with you, man, with that.
Now, the first thing, because I understand what you're asking, but I think what you're asking isn't necessarily what they were talking about. Because I get what you're saying about what you're asking about is like, why was this stuff happening pre-rap?
Yes,
they're not saying that.
If you want to blame rap.
Yeah, but that's what he's saying. He's not
to the same people.
But that's what I'm saying. He's not specifically just blaming rap. So I think that's the miscommunication. He's not only blaming rap, but what he's saying is that rap.
I would basically say that rap is masking or the icing of everything.
Not just rap.
That's what I'm saying.
It's the entire culture where bad is good and good is bad.
I'm saying that
I 1,000% agree with that. Because if you're negative, you're positive. If you're positive, you're called a hater.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Now,
you know what I'm saying? I mean,
what were you about to say? Can you answer it?
Now, to answer your question,
answer it, please.
Pretty much like everybody said, there's no way to get around violence. Period. Like you can't. Yeah, you can't do it. There's always going to be here.
So we can take that off the rap list.
I mean, now, like tonight, like you said, like take that off the rap list. Mm-hmm. What they're saying is that rap is not what caused it. It can't cause it. It's going to be here regardless. It don't matter if it's R&B, gospel, period, point blank. Right. That's the saying it's not going to cause it. What he's saying now, what he's saying is that What he's saying, it was like an underground culture. Because at first it was like, okay, if there was something that happened in our neighborhood, it's like, think of it like a family. If me and you are brothers and something happens inside of our household, that's between me and you. We fix our own household. Me and you got in a fight, okay, let's kill this. Now, what he's saying about with the social media, while rap is making it bad now, is because when something happens inside of our household, now we got a little sister over in the corner, video recording on Snapchat and posting it for everybody else outside of our home to see. So now everybody else outside of our home is seeing what's going on outside of our home, and they're looking at us like, man, they just messed up. And then we can't do nothing to fix it, because even if we try to fix it, they already have an image of us to where even if we fix it, they still look at us like, man, y'all those people that was just in the house fighting yesterday trying to kill each other. So as soon as we walk out of that household, we'd have squashed it. We'd have fixed it. But they look at us like...
They listening to the tracks and saying, y'all over here killing each other and robbing. They already have an image installed in their mind.
That's why I was saying...
After a rap song.
It's almost like we're indirectly, although we're speaking on reality, which is true. But like he said, we're not getting a mixture because we don't control the exposure. So the only thing, like Pat said, the only thing they're exposing, Migos, Savage 21, Kevin Gates. Okay, that's the only thing they're showing them. So with that being the only thing they're showing, we know better that there's more going on inside of our neighborhood than that because we live here. But for the people that live outside of it, So for the people that live outside of our neighborhood,
5 selling hip hop albums this year. It's the conscious people. It's the
it's
Drake,
coming back.
Sure. It's the Kendrick.
Exactly.
It's the J. Cole.
But like you said,
Migos sold 15,000 first week. That's an ultimate flop. Like suicide watch.
But let's be real. But that's for people to actually go do that digging. If you ask most people, and I've always laughed about this, you know what I'm talking about, Pat. If we ask somebody like who's the biggest artist, they'd be like Migos or Drake.
It depends on who you asking.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Kids, they gonna stay on the underground.
If they're only influenced by the media,
ask them the square root of 949. Kids, they ain't gonna know.
Yeah, that's going to be their answer if they're only influenced by the media. You have to have another different outlet, and since that being the only thing that they're seeing, that's the only example they have of us. That's why we say we have to police ourselves and do better. It's like, okay, if you're gonna do that, cool. Why are y'all not giving Lupe any type of press? Why are y'all not giving Nas or Talib any type of press?
I'm gonna go, because there's another part of it, and I'm glad that George Middleton says something about owning things, because if we don't own our own media, if we don't own the narrative or what people are showing, then technically they can decide to tell us who we are. And the problem is, like I said it earlier, is how they're perceiving us. So at the end of the day, they can go buy music and decipher and do all that thing and go back home and have and be okay. We still got to get home. You see what I'm saying? So there's so many different elements. And then he touched on it a little bit, but technology has turned our community upside down. The young people, not us. We can decipher. You know what I'm saying? We can decipher. Even some of the older generations can decipher. It's just a tool. It's just something else to get to what you need. Kids look at this, and you can go over somebody's house, and they doing this all day. You don't know what they listening to or what they watching. So I think we're fighting so many different elements, and it's making it harder for them to decipher what's happening because we don't own anything.
Okay.
So technically, if we owned cell phone companies and all these other different things, then we could kind of control what they do.
Let me ask you guys this. Let me ask you guys this. All right, if you're not okay with us being last in everything that George Middleton posted, right? As far as music, what do you think? Like, how do you think we should approach music as far as the message if we want to be at the forefront instead of last in everything that he listed?
But I think, that's the disconnect, because I don't blame music for that. No, I'm saying I kind of know what
I'm saying, but I'm saying if we use music as a tool to use to get to,
I don't know. I guess I think music is being used as a good tool. Like when my daughter was like 8 years old, like they had these rap videos to help her learn her math. You know what I'm saying? And since they love rap, they got a rhythm.
Right. Some teachers are utilizing that.
She's a killer in math, man. She's probably better than us. Then we had like what's the other thing? Like
but see, that's being used in a positive way.
That's what I thought that was the question.
Yeah.
So if you think about like artists like Kendrick, I would say he's promoting good music.
Yeah, 400,000 first week.
Right.
How much 21 Savage sell first week?
Right.
30,000.
So your point is it's not the music, but his point is the type of music.
I'm saying No,
Now,
I'm saying that's false.
You're saying
now
no
I have a
music.
I'm saying if it's no to movies, it's no to music. That's what I'm saying. That's nothing to do with that. It has something to do with our communities, and we have to ask ourselves, how did our communities get like that?
So
my brother, hold on, let me finish.
Okay.
My brother, why is our fathers in jail? Because the war on drugs.
Right.
Now, we already had people leak information from the government showing that the war on drugs is really just a war on black people.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because it's more white people. They doing more drugs than us. They flying the drugs in.
It's a different scenario.
Why are we
now.
getting there? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Same thing with the violence. You ain't got a plane to go get an AK from China. But they got AKs in Chicago. They got it's Democrats in charge. Their gun policies are crazy. You get caught with a gun in Chicago, bro.
Oh, yeah.
You gone.
Yeah.
But guns are all through Chicago. How did
Right.
that get there? Did Future drop it off? Did MC8 or Eazy drop it
And
off?
no. And there
That's
are
why we
Our
gotta-
gun laws are lenient, so
But
a
there
lot
are-
of people in Chicago come to
Yeah.
Indianapolis to get there.
Shout out
but
to the
there,
Republicans.
but there are some people that, and I've actually heard this, where they will walk outside in their alley and see cases of guns just sitting there.
Who put it there?
So-
But I have a question
So that's
about.
what I'm trying to
I have
tell y'all.
a
It's nothing
question
to do with
about the
music.
guns and the drugs.
Okay.
Because they're there, do we have to sell them, use them? And
Great
protect-
point.
Do we have to do it?
It's a
We,
plan.
I'm asking. I'm just the question.
no,
is, do
but we
have
make the
to do it?
choice.
It's a choice.
It's a choice.
It's like it's
so
Lysol
why do
right there, you
people?
don't use it.
Why do people say free this person or free that person that committed a crime?
Because we understand the trap that was set before
No,
them.
but they didn't have to commit the crime.
It's a trap. Nobody has to fall in the trap. It's a bear trap. The bear don't want to get
Well,
trapped. He walks into a trap.
If you commit the crime, then you should be willing to do the time. And if you can't do that, then you shouldn't do the crime. So why say free a murderer or a robber or a drug seller?
Because I understand the predicament that they were in.
And they should be freed?
What if he killed your cousin?
I mean,
Man, that's a hell of a question.
His sister would probably say free him, and I'll be like, let him stay. It's a perspective thing. He's just asking, why do we say free? Like when we free Lil Wayne. Lil Wayne got caught with a gun on a tour bus in New York.
What?
And we like, I want a Lil Wayne album, free him.
We
We don't respect the system, so we saying free him. We against the, we understand the system is what messed us up in the first place.
Yeah, but I see a lot of people that'll say free Lil Wayne, and they'll have a relative in jail and never gave them any commissary money and never said free them.
Wow.
But they want free Lil Wayne, someone they don't know from a can of paint.
Now there is something that you said about the whole positive is negative, now negative is positive, because you started on something. I thought you was going in a different direction. You started saying something. I've actually seen this, so I was actually kind of appalled when you said it, but you went in a different direction. I've actually seen people that'll have a child in college, and the child would need like money, things here and there, maybe soap, food, and they'll complain about sending that child money. But yet again, I'll have another child in jail and put commissary money in their books all day, every day.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Because it's I call it almost like a good kid, bad kid syndrome. It's almost like you have like a good kid and they'll make straight A's. If they get a B+, you're looking at them like, oh my God, like what are you doing? You just got a B+, but you'll have a kid that makes like straight F's. And then they'll probably get a D, but like, oh my God, I'm so proud of you. Start giving them like Jordans and stuff. I'm so proud of you. The other kid over here getting straight A's is looking at you like, I get straight A's, but you've never given me anything. So but like you said, but it's the perception, and that's what he's saying. Like we have to fix this own image. So we have people out here that are doing things that are positive, and we ain't even talking about it at all. But yet again, everybody that's doing something somewhat that could be even perceived as negative. Yeah. So even if we know that they're not doing something negative, if it can be perceived as it. Yeah.
Right,
and
we're in that
like
mode. We're in that mode right now where we're trying to change the narrative because the narrative is not good, but we're working on that.
I think we're doing it.
We're doing it now. Yeah, absolutely.
You have a media company. Look
Absolutely.
what you're talking about. Yeah. I have a media company.
Absolutely.
Look what I'm talking about.
Absolutely.
We are, and who's our viewers?
Right.
Our people.
Right. Absolutely.
So we've changed the narrative. It's changing. But I was going to say something. What you just referred to. I guess the only thing I don't think we should be blaming music. I mean, the older generation.
You mean rap music?
Just music, period. I just feel like the older generation has always done this. Like when we first made like comic books, like, oh my God, you're gonna be killers. You're reading comic books. Then video games come out. Oh my God, they're gonna be outside killing each other because they're being desensitized from the video games. Then it was rap. Then it's World Star. Then it's Pornhub. It's like they just keep.
But
this is what older generations do.
But give them this. They've been through things that we can't even perceive.
And they have
So at the end of the day, and you said this, that's the traumatic. So at the end of the day, maybe they just don't want that to happen to the generations coming after them. So
they got good intent.
Yeah. There's some things in there that we should take from.
What I find with today's younger people is that they think they know it all. And when I tell these young artists to come to me for my advice and counsel, and they try to clap back on stuff I said, how come you're not selling any records or getting any downloads or your streams are low if you know it all? Mm-hmm. You see, the problem is you don't know jack squat. You have all this emotion that you're blowing out and spitting and spewing, and you don't want to take responsibility for your own self. Life is about choices. And one of the biggest problems that we have in our community is that there's an absence of black fathers.
Absolutely.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of fathers, but there's not a lot of daddies.
Right.
You know, they fathered the child, but they weren't a dad
to
the kid.
Right.
And I guarantee you that these boys that you see walking around here with their behinds out sagging, they're coming from single mothers raising them, because no well-respecting man would allow his son to leave the house with his behind out.
Right.
And this is
and that comes from prison.
Right.
And then what did that signal in prison? So you're a free man and you got your behind out, as they call it, suspect. But anyway, you know, I see so many things in our culture that bother me, and you might want to call me OG or old school, whatever. That's fine. It's all good. But I've forgotten more than these young people of today will ever know.
Wow.
And I would rather be where I am in my mindset than to ever have a mindset that would accept females being called the B word and accept black people calling one another the N word, or thinking that it's okay to extol drug use, drug selling, and shooting people and acts of violence and degradation in music. To me, I don't see entertainment in that. Not me.
Yeah, you know what? I want to touch on how powerful, man, music is, right? This is by an 18th century Scottish political philosopher named Andrew Fletcher. He said, "Give me the making of the songs of a nation, and I care not who makes its laws."
Say it again. Give me who makes the songs.
He said, "Give me the making of the songs of a nation, and I care not who makes its laws." So why do you think he would say something like that?
I'm clueless.
So basically, so basically saying that the power of music will override any laws, man, that are made with like.
I mean, This is what I would say. All right, we're talking from an African American perspective. You're an American,
but it's still music.
Let's take this outside of America. That's how I'm gonna get you on this. Let's take this outside of America. Let's go to Venezuela now.
No,
let me finish it. Ain't no Future. Ain't no craziness.
I hear you, but
they still got the same. It's still drugs. There's still violence. There's still poverty.
I get that.
Still that.
But this is a Scottish person in the 18th century that said, "Give me the music of a nation, and I don't care what laws they have. Just give me their music."
Which means that we can make any kind of music we want if we can change the narrative of how people view us.
Music would transform a society.
That shouldn't be the problem.
Literally.
It really shouldn't.
Yeah.
But the problem is that we're equated to three things in this country: sports, TV, and music.
Yeah. No, I feel what you're saying, but I just took.
So you move in a rich neighborhood, they gonna say, "What you do? Sing?" They don't even say rap. They say sing. Because they put them together.
And look at the small amount of time that is spent on Lupe or Currency or people like that. The conversation is always everywhere, and then there's hardly any conversation about my favorite form, RnB. Right. Why is everybody nowadays only talking about rap? Why is some people don't even think that rap is music. Because technically, it's a person.
That's what I said. And when they say sing, because they don't even respect the rap
voice
part. Like,
over,
rich people.
And these trap tracks. You got people tinkerboxing on computer gadgets, making something that they call "quote unquote" a beat, and it's a trap track, and you got somebody spewing rhymes over it, and this is like that trumps what Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis created, or what Pharrell created.
I have a question.
Why do we It's what I said earlier. There's no diversity. It's just
technology.
It's just all one lane. You know, if you want to listen to Migos, fine, but listen to something else where you broaden your horizons. You have to expand. If you don't expand, you'll stay in the same rut the whole time.
Now, I have a question for you. Although you just diss hip hop, and I don't like that. Yeah. No, because I mean I can understand where you're coming from, because I was kind of like that until I kind of started digging deeper into it and understanding just how hard it is.
And what I just said, where did I diss?
No,
I dissed.
No. To some people it would sound like that, but we can talk about that later. But the question I have is because like you said, your musical background spans decades.
Yes.
And I pride myself listening to different things. Like, I may not sound like it, but I do. Like, I'm listening to everything from Radiohead to I'm a big diehard Marvin Gaye fan. Like, my favorite album was probably the Trouble Man soundtrack. So, in your opinion, how do you feel about? Because to me, I feel like everything is merged sounds. Like, I hear rap, I hear R&B. Well, what they so-called rap and then so-called R&B and pop music. To me, the formula all sounds the same now. Like, as soon as it comes on, I can't even tell if it's about to be a rap song, an R&B song, or a pop song. Because the formulas all sound the same. Do you how do you feel about that? Because there used to be a time where you could tell the difference.
R&B, the stuff that some people call R&B nowadays, like Trey Songz and August Alsina and Chris Brown, that's really not R&B. R&B does have its own pure form of sweet soul music, and there is still some out there. It just doesn't get the attention. As a matter of fact, I have CDs to give you of some real R&B. One of my acts, it's real R&B, because I don't engage in trap track music to have R&B singing over top of trap tracks. I don't believe in the blurred line like that. That's me. Now, if it works for somebody else, I don't knock your hustle if that works for you. So you are correct in when some of the tracks come on now, you don't know what it's getting ready to be. And pop is a totally different thing. Pop to me is Britney Spears and Taylor Swift and Christina Aguilera and people like that. But sometimes some of their music even blurs the lines. They might have a bit of a tinge of the trap track there to try to pull that crossover sort of audience into the situation. But I'm talking about pure R&B. 90% of our conversation today has been about rappers, and some of them are rappers that are not exactly mainstream loved. But there's no conversation about any R&B people that are mainstream. This happens all the time right now. Everybody just focuses on rap. The DJs to take money under the table and all the networks and the coalitions, they pump all of this kind of rap, the kind of rap that I'm coming down on, and I am coming down on that kind of rap. I love Houdini and Common and people like that, and Eric Sermon and Andre 3000. Those people are real MCs. But this stuff nowadays that our young people are being exposed to, that's permeating inside of their minds, I even question whether it's really rap, because most of those people don't really have any skills. Everything that's the flavor of the week doesn't necessarily mean it should be the flavor of your lifetime.
Okay. Great point. I mean, we've had a great discussion in regards to that. I want to move on to a couple of other things that we had on the list in regards to is music profitable today? You know, in your opinion, what do y'all think? Because I used to be an artist. I did a lot. I feel like I've got to a level where I was respected enough, and I could have taken the money that I made off of it and put it back in there, but it didn't make any sense to me to do that because there's a few things. I had a family. I have other priorities, and going the music route at the time really just wasn't feasible for me financially because I felt like I put all that time and that money into it, and I got this, and you mean to tell me I got to put that right back into it? I ain't got that kind of time. You know what I'm saying? So, but for artists today, I don't knock the music industry. It just didn't work for me because I didn't feel like I made what I felt like I should have made. So I got, I didn't get discouraged. I'm just like, okay, let me get my degree. I got a degree in business information systems. Let me use that and I made way more. You know what I'm saying? In a small amount of time. So naturally, I'm like, I'm going to do this. So, but there's artists that really love doing music, and I don't want to discourage them. I encourage music artists all the time, but I do understand that if to play in that game, you gotta have a lot of money or know somebody. If you don't know somebody or you don't have a lot of money, you're gonna be wasting money. So today, the climate on how you create and make music has changed drastically. It's becoming oversaturated again. It was like, hey, go toward the internet. That's where it is. Now the internet is oversaturated. So how do people make money doing music these days?
Streaming. Streaming is the way.
Yeah.
If you are an artist, first anything free, it's in the 48 laws of power. Say no to the free lunch. Don't go to these free sites. Pay what you weigh. Get TuneCore.
Right.
They're gonna put you on Spotify, Pandora, Tidal, Apple. So that way, just listening to your song, you're getting paid. They download it, you get a little more. You know, and so
right, but that's becoming oversaturated. So
that's how
when I say oversaturated, I mean everybody can get on that.
So
now
how you get your money.
Right. But now you have the promo in the other arenas, which people, like you said, don't want to pay for. You got to pay to play.
Yeah, you can't. If you put on SoundCloud, my daughter, like I said, is at North Central. It's kids there, 15 years old, on SoundCloud with like 100,000 some followers or views. I'm like, my goodness. Right. You're 15. How you doing this? You know what I mean? But no, the way people listen to music today is streaming. Like the radio is dead. When I'm in my car, I'm auxiliary cord all day.
That's true. I barely listen to the radio.
I can't even buy a car if it don't got an aux cord. I'd be like, if I love it, I'm like, nah, I can't.
Right.
You know, it got to be Bluetooth or aux. But that's how you're gonna make your money off that, and then plus the sales. I got a couple artists I'm working with, and what we've been doing is we pick 3 cities. We pick Cincy, we pick St. Louis, and Louisville. Those are the spots that we hit like every other weekend. We have CDs. The CD might got one song on it, but they can scan the QR code. You know what the QR code is? The little thing.
Yep.
It looks like it's not a barcode. It looks not a barcode, but it looks like a you know what I'm talking about. The black
QR
and white
code,
thing.
yeah.
Looks like a maze.
Square barcode.
You just boom, and then boom, they go right to Spotify. You're getting paid. But that's how people listen to music. Like young ladies that turn on Pandora and clean their house. They don't even know who the song is. They go to their phone and be like, who was that? Oh, okay.
Right.
That's Ray E.
You distinctly ask.
Is it profitable?
He's giving a formula of some of the ways, but your question kind of goes more to the meat and potatoes of can you sustain a living? And no, you can't, because you have to have 1 million streams to make $90.
Damn.
Wow.
Because streaming pays such a pishy amount of fractions of pennies.
Wow.
Right.
And so the problem is the industry is trying very hard to get the streaming royalty rates raised to make them more respectable.
And the more people that becomes a part of that, the less you get.
This is why you see so many of the veteran acts out playing show dates now.
Right.
Because they're not getting royalty checks anymore. They had to get off the couch and get out there.
Right.
Because they have that catalog of hits, so people will come to see them live, but people will not buy their music.
Right.
And see, many, like Jay-Z has the number 3 streaming company with Tidal. Apple Music is number 2 and Spotify is number 1. But most of the people that are with all of those streaming companies are non-subscribers. They're the ones that are listening and do those trial periods, the free periods. And
got you.
So the problem is people don't know the business of the music business. SoundCloud does not pay royalties. So our SoundCloud accounts are disabled because I believe that people should be a prostitute in music and not a whore in music. You should get paid for your services, not give them away. So even if you're giving me a fraction of pennies, I'd rather get the fraction of pennies than nothing at all. And if you have your YouTube account monetized, they pay streaming rates at YouTube as well. So there are ways in which you can still make some money, but it's nothing like what it used to be. Like when I get royalty checks now, they're nothing like what they used to be because the sales of music has dwindled tremendously. And it's like you look one week, you'll see a Jay-Z 444 album only sold 14,000 physical copies. But you may see his streams in the 6 figures because, as he said, it is a streaming game right now. And people have so many ways they can get access to music free by just typing in the name of the song and the artist in a Google search, and you can go to some site and you can find it. People never stopped liking music. They just decided they didn't want to pay for it. There's an old expression that says, why pay for the milk when what? You can get the cow.
Cow for free.
I think he made some good points, but that formula was a little off. A million, like, I think it's 0.06 or 0.006. So if you get 1 million views,
6,000.
There you go.
Right.
You can do the math. But go ahead.
Wrong
answer.
answer. Wrong answer because Pharrell had the #1 song in 16 countries with "Happy," and I forget the amount of streams that he had, but he only made $3,000. So streaming rates are really very, very low.
Tidal pays out the highest, but it's not like a theory. Like
but I thought that Pharrell made a deal where he wasn't getting the majority of that, and that it was the proceeds. Yeah, the proceeds of that song was going to something else.
I don't know anything about a Pharrell deal, but Tidal does pay the highest streaming rates, but that doesn't matter. They still have the least amount of subscribers. So if you're not really booming on Spotify, then your streaming is not really doing that well because Tidal doesn't have as many subscribers as Spotify.
You see that?
Well, I have a question, just in my opinion, because to me personally, and I heard what you said about, like me personally, I feel people have too much access now. That's just me. I think it was Sidney Poitier to where Denzel Washington was asking about, doing TV shows and stuff, and Sidney Poitier told him, he was like, don't do it, because the more you make yourself available, the more your value goes down. And I heard what you said about, people like, with the SoundCloud and everything, and they have access to stuff, but they don't have to pay for it. So do you think that like the accessibility that they give to people to their content sometimes kind of messes up their payment because there's so much?
It's just not even the payment. He said earlier about the oversaturation.
Yeah.
There's no vetting process. You could put barking dogs and howling cats together over a beat loop and put that on SoundCloud and call it a song, and there's nobody there that's going to tell you.
I'll probably try that tonight.
That can't be uploaded to SoundCloud. When there are only 3 major labels left now, and when you used to get a record deal, and I've had 3 acts that have had major record deals in my career, there was a vetting process, if you understand what I mean when I say a vetting process. Somebody fine-tooth combed that in the A&R department and upper-level vice presidents to decide that we're going to sign this act. Well, now, because everybody's an independent artist and there's no vetting, you can go to your homeboy's bathroom studio and say, if I get 50 likes on my Facebook post, I'm going to put my new single on SoundCloud tonight at midnight. That song has not been properly mixed. It has not been mastered, but that person says they have a new single out. It hasn't been encoded. It hasn't been cleared with BMI or ASCAP or CSAC, but that person might have 100,000 followers. They might have even paid for some of them, but it seems like they are bigger than life, even though that really isn't doing anything. They don't know the business of. There's 2 things. There's the music business, and then there's the business of the music business.
Right.
And the business of the music business is sorely missing nowadays.
Okay, so is there more money in publishing and producing?
Yeah, I would say yes.
2 different things, but it's like with me and some of the songs in my catalog, they've been used on motion pictures, soundtracks, and they're also used on TV shows like Shazam, that show that Jamie Foxx hosts. Then there's a show called Boy Band or something like that. And then there's New American Idol. And I've had licensing requests from all 3 of those people from some of my catalog. So because I am a publisher, the answer to your question would be yes. It's because I took care of my business and my paperwork is intact. And that's what I try to do for all of my clients. And I'm available to do that for other people under the consulting hat that I wear. I help you get your business in order. I know a guy that co-wrote a tune that became the theme for the Cincinnati Bengals, but he never joined BMI or anything and had his tune cleared. And he said, shouldn't I have gotten some checks? Yeah, you should have. But if you don't take care of paperwork, BMI doesn't know you exist. So, I mean, how are you going to get a check?
I can't say that is one of the major flaws of young people coming up and trying to do music is they don't understand the business, and oftentimes they get ahead of themselves. They record, they go get it all done up, and then they immediately go start doing shows. When we were doing music coming up under my label, we had an artist named Jay Breed who did a song called Purple Kush. Well, he had opened up for Gucci Mane, I think, at the time with that Purple Kush. About 3 months later, Gucci Mane came out with a new song called Purple Kush. I said, man, that's a learning lesson. Because, see, not only did he like the name, but he liked the vibe of it. So you got to realize that it's people always out there listening and trying to vibe and find something new. And if they look you up and they see that that's not attached to you, they going to take it.
There's a Cincinnati rapper whose name I will not mention on the air. I'm sure you know who he is. He had a tune that his hook and even the same type of sweater that he wore in his video ended up being on a tune by Rick Ross.
Yeah, it happens all the time. He didn't
have his paperwork together.
You gotta have your paperwork together.
If he had his paperwork together, I'm sure he would have had an out-of-court settlement.
Yeah. So who makes more money though? Well, the rapper or the producer?
Producer.
It depends on what, because I mean, the rapper gets to go on on a tour.
That's just a show. That's just a show.
What rapper gets to go on a tour?
It's just a show.
Are you talking about a nationally known rapper?
I mean, yeah.
The producer will always get.
Well, the difference is like when the music business was booming, the so-called producers were getting nice six figures for producing a tune, but not anymore. No. So if you're an old school artist that has a catalog of hits, you can get out and work and make some money. Like DJ Quick and Scarface are touring together right now, and then you have these packages that go out with Juvenile, Mystical, Big Daddy Kane, and 8 Ball and MJG. You have all of these kind of packagings that go out because people know their songs, so they are making money because they're performing live, but the person that produced that tune is not making a dime. Right. Not unless that person was smart enough, because now BMI, I don't know about ASCAP because I'm a BMI guy. You can turn it into BMI live performance and list your tunes when you know they were performed, and you can still get paid for it. So I just gave a piece of free advice out there to you people.
I didn't know that.
You can turn your tunes in and you can get paid.
Can you repeat that?
He said as a producer, like, you're an artist. As an artist, you can put your stuff on BMI and say, I'm performing this song here, and BMI will pay you royalties residually for that.
Okay.
Right.
He's saying producers can do the same thing.
When you produce the session, if you wrote the tune, most producers usually write the instrumental music, so that should mean that they have 50% of the copyright. So therefore, they should turn it into their performing rights organization and get royalties for that. But it's just people don't handle their business. And then another thing, you must have your tune encoded. That's where you get your detections from BDS and MediaBase. If your tune is not encoded, then BMI or ASCAP or CSAC will never know that your tune was played, so you have nothing coming.
Right. Nor can radio stations pick you up because they're following MediaBase and a BDS.
That's true.
So
I was gonna say, but I think back in the day, producers probably made more. Like, remember Timbaland was getting like $250,000 per beat. Like, that was
Pharrell was getting that too. Neptunes were getting that.
But now, like 808 Mafia, them guys getting like $1,500, $2,500. They ain't getting what they getting.
The producers get a guaranteed producer's advance, like the way the major labels do it. When you have a producer, the producer gets what you call an advance against the royalties, but it's against the royalties of the artist. It's like an artist deal. No, it's against the royalties of the artist.
So they take money.
So some artists, in the history of the music business, only 25% of all recorded music released has ever recouped the investment of the major label. The other 75% tax write-off and the acts get dropped.
Wow. And we're seeing that all the time. It's like a factory. And that's what I hate about like the young people, because the young people really got to get their stuff together, because there are people who know that in the industry, and like the 360 deals killed a lot of people.
Oh my God. I wouldn't sign a barking dog to a 360 deal.
Yeah.
I'm so very sorry.
I mean, they get a percentage of everything.
And it didn't used to be like that. They get a percentage of anything, of your likeness and your image, of your merchandise, of your show money, your publishing, your everything. The record company and the other avenues that artists can make money should be totally separate.
Right.
Because they're only paying you on 90% of the records sold anyway. The other 10% they're holding back for defects and returns.
Yep.
You got to know this business, people.
Yep.
I'm
you
sorry.
You got to know it. You got to know it, and that's brave information, man. Thanks for sharing that.
Yeah.
The last question I got was, there's a lot of people who have been doing music for a long time or who are just starting, and they want to know, is the music a bad cycle to be in? Well, we have already established that if you don't have your paperwork together, you screwed anyway. You might as well not do it because you're not going to get paid from it. But
it's
there's
worth doing.
You know, I think some people get caught up in the cycle of doing certain things because they think that's what they're supposed to do. Therefore, they waste a lot of money. I knew early on, like, look, I'm not going to keep putting this money back into that because I put money in it. I made triple that, put some more money in it. No, okay, I'm not. I'm not doing that.
Music is really like a cancer. Once that bug gets you, it spreads throughout your body and takes over your mind and your soul. Man. You know, you're just done. Like, you know, curse it be to the Beatles. Because when I went to college, I was supposed to become a psychologist, and I started rocking and rolling, you know. So it's kind of like there have been a few times that I've said I'm done, I'm retiring, and I keep telling some of my clients I'm getting ready to quit, and they said, no, you're not going to quit. Then I look at myself in the mirror and say, what else would I do? This is what I do. I do love music. I just don't like the way things have gone.
Right. So you've made a healthy living off of it as well.
Well, you know, it I put on an extra 20 pounds, you know. It's because I did some of the right things and I made some of the right deals, and I've also been very lucky to have been a part of some tunes that will go down in history as some of the greatest tunes of all time.
Can we name some of those tunes?
Yeah, Google me and you'll find them.
What would you say would be your top three out of the tunes that you created that you love the most, that you've been successful?
I have a surprise tune that it's not going to be my top three, but it's going to be a surprise tune. One day when I went to pick up my mail, I had a huge check for ringtones on a Plies tune, and I had to grab the counter because I thought I was going to pass out. I was so shocked. That was
a sample?
Ringtones were happening, you know, back a few years back they were happening, but they're not so happening. Plies did a remake of Two Occasions with Ashanti and called it Want It, Need It, and it was really huge with ringtones. I truly guess the biggest song would be the most special one, which would be Slow Jam that Midnight Star did, and then Usher and Monica did it later. And it was on the Soul Food soundtrack, and even played on the TV show. So that was wonderful. Jamie Foxx covered it as well.
Yeah,
and that's nice. And then of course Two Occasions, and then thank goodness that Mariah Carey enjoyed Two Occasions so much that she wanted to use parts of it in We Belong Together. Wow. And that was probably the biggest check that I ever saw.
Did you get double money for that? Like you created it, right? And then you sample your own track, and then somebody else samples it, and then you perform it. You get money from all that.
What happens is people use a clearinghouse to make contact with the copyright owners.
Right.
And you kind of get to somewhat name price for allowing them to use a piece of your song. So Plies, The Game, Mariah, thank you, all of you. I love you. I love you.
Wow. So a lot of the veteran music that's out there is getting rotated, because if you notice in the quote unquote R&B music, which is now I believe trap soul or whatever, a lot of that is starting to use that's what they call it now, trap soul. It uses a lot of samples. So you hear the SWVs, you hear the old school Ushers, you're starting to hear them, and so now
you owe Bryson some royalties for using his expression.
Oh man, what did I use?
Trap soul.
Oh man.
I was gonna say.
See, I may be OG, but I know I know it all.
Yeah,
DJ Khaled. If you listen to his album, they sampling a lot of that old stuff.
They
by the way, DJ Khaled, in case if you tune in, go ahead and
you go ahead and use
Kevin Gates sampled Slow Jam off of his platinum album on the tune Jam.
Wow.
Thank you, Kevin Gates. Even though you can't enjoy the fruits of your labor, maybe your wife will send you some commissary. Almost
Is he still locked up, isn't he?
Yeah, he is.
Oh, boy.
Chicago with a gun. We're just talking about that.
Oh, really? Man. Yeah, Chicago. Hey. Chicago, Cook County.
A lot of the rappers have used a lot of the old school R&B stuff and built their song from that. And sometimes they get turned down. There was a rap group that had wanted to use 2 occasions, and they sent it to us. It was just... Excuse me, I know he hates it, but it was too ratchet. And it was just, we can't let you do that.
So what you're saying, because I never know how the process works. So what you're saying is that actually make the song, put it together, then send you it, and then you will hear it, and then decide whether it's like, okay, I okay it or I don't.
Yeah, see, each one of those tunes has co-writers, and it takes all of us to sign on to it. And sometimes people change their numbers or they have a different email address. So the powers that be are frantic at times. Oh my God, Sid, do you know how to reach this one? Or can you get a message to Babyface? We're trying to reach somebody because we're at a deadline and da-da-da-da-da-da. Calm down. I can reach them, because, all of us, we do like money.
Right.
So, not if it's something like totally ridiculous, like there was Steve Silk Hurley, who's a producer out of Chicago. He did some work with Evelyn Champagne King, if you all remember her. She had the song called Shame. Yeah. Okay, everybody looked like, ooh.
I'd have to hear it.
But she was a female rapper that wanted to use Aretha Franklin's Jump to it. And Steve Silk Hurley had sampled it. And this female rapper, which she was saying over top of it, Clive Davis, I'm sure you've heard of him, the head of the label, when he heard it, he said, Aretha will never let her voice be in this record, never.
Oh, wow, okay.
So sometimes, and that's happened with some Bobby Womack and even with some George Clinton stuff, it just depends on the lyrical content. Some people have done that with the Isley Brothers with Between the Sheets. We've heard that in a lot of rap songs. Yeah, but then there have been some that have been too raunchy and they have to say no because that person's voice is there, and they don't want their voice to be symbolic of maybe some of those lyrics that are just a little too over the top, But, as they say, money talks, except I can't be persuaded by money to do work with people that require a parental advisory sticker. I might tell them, like I've given out some free advice today. I might tell you a few pointers, but I won't go deep with it and I won't put my name to it because nobody will ever be able to say that they saw my name in current times associated with a song that had the N-word. That's just not going to happen.
Is there an Illuminati in music?
Well, I'm not aware of any black people that are Bavarian. So since that's where the Illuminati comes from, Bavaria, I would have to tell you. I would have to tell you no.
Thank you.
I would have to tell you no.
That's more self-hate. That's how people self-hate.
Or is there a secret society within music that you have to do rituals in order to get to a certain level? I have to ask these questions, man.
Depends on what those rituals are.
Yeah, you answered that for me when we were off the air. I can maybe tell you that. There are certain people that have record deals that are in positions that they are in now because they probably needed to go somewhere where they have gymnastics and buy some knee pads.
Oh, man.
Wow. And there it is. One more question, man, for my man right here because you've been quiet.
He's just taking it all in.
He's taking it all in. Good, man. Definitely. We got Blood and Crip over there battling.
Right in the middle. Listening.
Let's see in the middle. No, but where do you want music meant to go? Like from right now to like 10 years, man, from now? Just music.
Just to evolve. I feel like it needs to be more on the conscious tip.
Okay.
It definitely does. I believe, just me personally, and for all of us, I know all of us in the room want to see our communities do better. I just want to see our people survive. So with that, with music being such a huge impact on the world, that's how you could touch anybody in the world is through music.
Right.
With that, like right now, we sinking our own ship.
Right.
I just want to see us more conscious. I want to see us more with the lyrics actually speaking to us, empowering us. Like you said, Public Enemy, Fight the Power. Had such a huge impact. That's one of my favorite songs, and I wasn't even alive when it came out.
Piggybacking up of something that he just said that just occurred to me, 67% of black music sells outside of the United States.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
So therefore, if you're making a bunch of hood rat sort of music, they don't understand that in Japan or Australia or West Africa and in the UK. So my advice to some of you out here that create music, try to make music that is a little bit more general in theme that everybody could relate to, and you might be able to even have better streaming and download.
You mean
royalties.
like crossover music? Music that
Not
crosses
necessarily. You know, I'm not trying to say you have to popinize it and, to make it acceptable, but you have to watch your lyrics to where somebody in a foreign country could be able to relate to it. And if you're telling a hood tale, what goes on in the hood, they don't really understand that. So, if you want to have any kind of impact overseas, because many of our black musicians that can't find gigs here in America, they do very well touring Europe and Japan.
Especially well. Like, I know Wu-Tang, they tour 365.
Oh, yeah.
Like, you'll probably never see them here, but, like, Great Britain, Japan.
Oh, yeah. Pariah, shout out to Pariah, because he's an artist that is not known in the U.S., but he lives in Indianapolis, and he gets major sales in other countries.
Really?
Like really big royalty checks for that.
And actually, shout out to Fee Ray if he's looking. He just came back from doing some shows over in I know for a fact he was in Japan and he went somewhere else. I think he was in China. They had him all over the radio station. He was just like, he had never even been there before. He said he just did a show. Everybody knew all of his lyrics. The whole club knew all of his lyrics. He had never been there before. So, like...
That's powerful, man.
It is.
You know what I'm saying?
How much do you think that it would cost for an artist to take? And two questions. Do you think that an album is feasible in this day and time, or do you think singles are feasible? And how much do you think it takes an artist to push either a single or an album?
Singles are the game right now because that's what you brand yourself by. The DJ coalitions and pools don't play albums; they play singles.
Right.
And albums are really not selling at all. So you got to have that really good single. And I keep telling people, I want to make an album. Make that hot single,
right,
which causes impact. So it's about a single, and I would tell you, it's not as expensive as some people might think it is for my services. If we're going to work a single from the alpha to the omega, it would be under $3,000.
Oh, nice.
But I won't give the exact amount.
For sure.
Because you can email me.
Some things
through my
vary,
website,
too. Yeah.
and we can talk business. As long as you're not N-wording and calling females dogs. Female human beings dogs.
Yeah. What's your answer?
It's kind of just listening right there.
For sure.
Come back to me.
Okay.
Come back to me.
I didn't hear the original question.
Okay.
I heard the question about where would I like to see music go.
Yeah.
Oh, that was P. Wills.
Okay. Well, I was gonna say I think music right now. Well, I'm speaking of hip hop.
Yeah.
I think hip hop is in a good place right now, especially where we've come from.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, about 3 years ago, it got kind of super watered
I love
down.
seeing what's at the top of the charts.
I love it.
Yeah.
I'm talking about from the Drake to Kendrick to Hov, J. Cole, Big Sean, Dave East just dropped a new album.
Oh, hey, I like Dave East.
Man,
I
raw.
like Dave East.
It's a whole bunch of. I haven't listened to Tyler. I think Tyler, he's too weird for me.
Tyler, the Creator?
I don't like weirdo rappers.
No, he's creative.
He's very creative.
I haven't listened to his music like that, but he's creative, man. He's super creative.
I just don't like weirdo rappers. I'm kind of like my guy right here. I don't like the junkie rapper. I'm more like I don't want to hear about. Like, even though he say he doesn't do drugs, them songs sound like drug music. I'm not into it. I'm from the '90s.
Like the artistry that he puts in it.
Yeah.
I mean, his album covers is like unique.
Yeah, I like Chance the Rapper. I like 2 Chainz new joint, DJ Khaled album. It's a lot of good music out right now. It's just you have to dig for it. You ain't got to dig for it. The top of the charts is the good music.
You know what's interesting about Chance? When I was in New Orleans at the Essence Festival, we had a chance to really listen to him.
Yeah.
And there was only like one song that I knew. Yeah. And I can't say that I'm a fan of Chance's music based on what I heard live, you know, like besides the songs that I heard coming through radio and
I'll say check out the Coloring
Spotify
Book.
and all that.
He's dope, bro.
The Coloring Book album, like
yeah,
he writes for Kanye. He's like you're gonna hear Kanye's
I
wit.
just wasn't impressed with what I was like. How's he there? But I think it's who he is. And what I am impressed with is what he does for people.
Yeah.
I think that's what really draw me to him, like in essence, because I'm like, man, what are you doing for the people? Mm-hmm. And what he's doing for his people is awesome.
It is.
You know, so, you know, because of that, I was like, man, let me check out this concert, you know. So, but I was like,
if you got Tidal or something, just turn it on. Like, check out his album. It's real good.
Yeah, I'm going to have to do that.
You know what I mean?
Check out some of his old music.
Old music?
Check out his old music, and then you would respect where he came from.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe that's it, because I haven't heard any of this.
I was going to say, like, the ratchet music that we was talking about earlier, that stuff doesn't sell. Like, I guess maybe they're getting got from the bootleg man at the gas station, or maybe they just watching it on YouTube.
Yeah.
But, like, 21 Savage didn't sell.
Hey, man.
Migos ain't platinum, ain't gold.
Childish Gambino is dope, too.
I was just thinking Gambino.
Yeah, he's dope.
Him and Vince Staples. Both of their albums.
Yeah.
I ain't heard Kid Cudi got a new album out.
See, and Vince actually came from Tyler.
Who?
Vince.
Oh yeah, Vince. I had kind of been sleeping on him, and I got Tidal, so you know if I ain't got nothing to do, I'm gonna listen to a new album.
Shout out to Big
Sean.
Q.
Yeah, Big Sean is.
You got something?
He's got a unique flow.
I love it
because he's never on beat on like rhyming, but it sounds dope.
Yeah.
People been sleeping on him for a long
time. He never really rhymes, but it like
I'm
it
not
makes
a Big
sense.
Sean fan at all.
You're not?
But
he come from the Mace.
Like Rick Ross, you gotta like Big Sean.
Nah,
Rick Ross album was crazy. I love that album.
I mean, Big Sean come from like the Mace and
Mace.
Well,
just,
but like his voice, I can't get into that, man. That's just me.
Who's representing R&B today?
R&B dead.
See, who's representing R&B today, man?
R&B is dead.
Look at the charts. Find me one.
You need to go to the R&B charts.
I'm about the charts, the regular, top 100.
They have an R&B chart.
Yeah,
but who's running them? Who's up there?
It's a country chart.
Just like they have a rap chart. So what are you talking about?
Rap dominates the real charts, the top 100, with no adjectives in front, like just the top 100.
Music general top 40 is R&B on it.
No. Hip hop dominate
because the message is.
You gotta wait for Beyonce or Rihanna to come out, or they ain't gonna be on there. Even Bryson Tiller did under 30,000 his first week.
Is he considered R&B?
He said, as I said, R&B is not dead. You have to look for it. Yeah. And if you look for it, there's a lot of good R&B. Like After 7,
not on the charts.
After 7 has a fabulous album out. Stokely, the lead singer from Mint Condition, has a solo album. Fabulous.
Bruno Mars. That's all they got.
There are a whole lot of and Bruno Mars is R&B. Okay.
He might be pop.
Yeah, he's pop.
What's the difference between R&B and pop? So pop just means popular. So if you're a popular R&B guy,
pop has a more.
No, I was saying that.
Nah, it's the
melody.
melody.
There's a difference.
It's the melody, man.
There's a difference.
Yeah, man.
R&B
the melody.
Pop is up tempo.
You know the difference, man, with R&B, man. Like you pop on like H-Town. You pop on H-Town, man.
You going back?
He just dissed R&B. He says I dissed hip hop. He just dissed R&B. What's the difference between pop and R&B? He says we can't even talk.
Listen, Madonna.
Bruno Mars.
And look,
you must ain't heard his album.
Madonna's pop, H-Town is R&B. Like it's the melody of it too. Like,
Bruno Mars has inflections of R&B in his music,
and funk,
but he's
more pop.
But he's a pop artist.
I mean,
he's
really nothing new
Joe
to me.
is an R&B artist. Fantasia is an R&B artist. Mary J. Blige is an R&B artist.
Chris Brown, what is he?
He's
both.
He's pop tinged R&B.
Yeah.
What about Beyonce? Rihanna?
Pop tinged R&B.
Both, yeah.
Pop tinged
So R&B is dead. Who's
R&B is. I just named you a bunch of R&B artists that are on the R&B chart. You want to see the app on my phone?
I'm looking at these, the real charts, the top 100.
And those charts are manipulated.
Go get that Johnny Gill album that dropped earlier this year or last year. Hey, that album's dope. No, that album's dope. I'm not being funny.
Oh, I thought you was joking.
No, I'm not joking. That Johnny Gill album that came out, I think it came out either early this year or last year.
R&B is dead because your mind has been poisoned by some of that rap you listen to, and therefore it took over, and you didn't realize that there's still R&B. Because for you to say R&B is dead, that means that you're not even checking for it to listen for it.
I'm saying it's dead when we talk about the charts. Like I got the charts right here, like the top 10.
The Hot 100 is basically for pop music. That's what it's.
Well, it's funny that I see Drake on here. I see French Montana.
And what do you think?
French Montana's pop now?
What do you think Drake is?
I ain't worried about nothing.
What do you think Drake is?
I think
Drake is a pop artist. His performance fee is $350,000 a night.
Well, he's on the hip hop charts.
When you're making that kind of money.
Drake is pop.
So pop means popular.
No, pop is white folks' music, basically. It's accepted by mainstream America. That's what pop is.
So
yes.
I'm looking through like Bodak Black is number 14. Like it's no, Bodak, not Kodak.
Top 5 on the
Bodak
list.
Yellow.
Bodak Yellow. Top 5 on the list right now.
Why don't you
top
go look
5
at
on
the
the list,
R&B
right?
chart?
Because that's like going to the gospel charts. I know I'm gonna find gospel.
Yo,
I'm looking
man,
on the
this is
charts.
Pyru versus
Okay, this
Hoover.
is funny to me. You said
number one.
R&B is dead, but you refuse to go to the R&B chart. So how are you going to kill a whole genre of music when you won't even go to their chart?
Because I'm looking at the real
Hey,
one. So number one.
Oh,
is,
so mainstream music chart is the real one.
The
That
number one-
contradicts everything you said earlier.
No, this ain't mainstream. This is the top 100.
That's what Hot 100 is. It's mainstream. You going to tell me?
No, I'm saying.
No, because I get what you're saying because it's a compilation.
I'm saying there's no
it's a
R&B on
compilation
there.
of everything.
None. Number 1, Daddy Yankee. Number 2, DJ Khaled. Number 3, French Montana. Number 4, Bruno Mars. Number 5, Imagine Dragons.
But you said earlier that Bruno Mars was an R&B
I
artist.
said he was. That's why I was giving you props.
We got
I said
R&B on there.
I got you. You better give him back. Oh, now he pop.
What is
All
Daddy
right.
Yankee doing right now?
Daddy Yankee's killing.
Oh man.
What is he doing overseas?
Oh man.
Killing it?
He got some
worldwide.
Wow.
Worldwide.
It's featuring Justin Bieber too. So
Yeah,
that probably helped him out.
Yeah, reggaeton.
man,
Is that
look,
you know,
this
Ed
this
Sheeran?
Sheeran or whatever? This
Yeah, he said I can't even say the word.
I heard that.
Shout out to
I heard that
Solange.
for the
She
first
dropped
time
the
on the
album
West Coast.
last year.
I love that
Very
album.
creative.
The album's dope.
Daddy,
Videos,
it's
the
Daddy
visuals,
Yankee.
live.
How would you like to make a bet that out of the Hot 100, out of the 100 entries on the Pop Hot 100 chart, that bet you there are some R&B artists out of the Hot 100?
That's gonna be a terrible bet. Then the sum, of course, I'm looking at it.
Well, you said they're not.
I said they're dead. Like we're at number 18.
You said R&B is dead, and there's an
We're
R&B
at number 18.
chart.
Well, I gave you Bruno Mars. You didn't want him at first. You
No,
called him Pop.
there is an R&B chart.
Didn't he call him Pop?
He said you didn't want him.
You didn't want him.
Did
Now
you
gonna-
read the Forbes report that said in America?
Hoover versus Pyru.
That said the two most popular
I
forms
know the
of
red with the blue.
music
Yeah,
in
that's right.
America are hip hop and R&B. That's go do that.
Oh, this is funny.
Do that on
I
Google.
can't find any. I mean, I guess we're gonna give you Bruno.
Now, what you do have to understand is what they call R&B.
Let's go to R&B
I call
charts.
Pop.
Let's go to
If
R&B
baby-
charts.
No, it's dead, so
I
you're not
wanna
gonna find
love
it.
you,
Well, I want to help you out. We got to look for it. It's something like a ghost.
How could you find the Hot 100?
Let me
Just
love
popped up.
you,
Oh, okay.
R&B.
I wanna love you,
Oh, no.
baby.
Here we go.
Stop.
Let's see who's on here.
And guess who's number one? Bruno Mars, right? With,
Baby.
I don't know, but you said he wasn't Pop.
well, I
I
didn't.
mean, you said he was Pop.
I said he's
No,
sorry.
number 1, DJ Khaled. Still.
R&B.
Rihanna
On
and
R&B?
Bryson Tyler.
R&B.
Yep.
Get out of here. man.
Bruno Mars.
Hey, turn
And
it
then
off.
you got Khaled
Turn
with
it off.
Justin Bieber and
Turn it
Quavo and Chance the Rapper.
Turn it off.
Post
Turn it
Malone. Post
Turn it off.
Malone.
Dude, number
It's in the
one
top
was DJ
five?
Khaled.
Post Malone's
Turn it
number
off.
5. Number 6,
For
Childish
R&B?
Gambino for R&B. This is the R&B chart.
That's
But
terrible.
that's
Turn
sad
it off.
because this is
Hot
what they
R&B and
consider.
hip-hop
This is what we
songs.
consider R&B
This is
now.
what
Because it's dead. They had to
This
put
is
some
why-
other people in there.
if
This is
R&B's
why-
dead and hip hop is
I
dead
don't
too.
know
Yeah,
what
it
I don't
can-
know what chart you're looking at, but the Billboard R&B chart, the number 1 song is by Bruno Mars, number 2 is by Childish Gambino, number 3 is Tamar Braxton, number 4 is Stokely, number 5
When
is
was that
7
released?
Streeter,
This is
number
Billboard.
6 is Johnny. Look, this is the R&B.
Hold on, hold on.
The
6
one
is
that
who?
we-
Johnny Gill.
That's the
Johnny
song you
Gill.
was talking
I'm
about.
trying to tell you, man, dog. No, man, but that Johnny Gill album is dope.
Hey, I can't look at
Hey,
this.
listen.
Oh, this is according to BDS.
Billboard.
Is that
This
represent-
is Billboard. BDS is
Look,
Nielsen.
it's Billboard.
But
It's
these
the
are
same
actual
thing.
spins. BDS are spins.
Yeah, that's not. This
Hey,
is,
I mean,
Hey,
listen.
Look, I can go to hot R&B songs.
Bro, y'all are laughing. That Johnny Gill album is dope, man.
You my guy.
What's your favorite track?
That list
Wow.
off, man. Like, dude,
Probably that one. Like, I don't know the track.
Hot R&B song.
Okay,
This is
Bruno
Billboard.
Bruno
Billboard, hot
Mars,
R&B songs.
Childish Gambino,
Wild
Tamar
Thoughts,
Braxton,
Number 1. Number 2, Bruno.
number one.
Stokely,
Gambino.
Seven Streeter, Johnny Gill,
Disqualified.
Daily,
Calvin Harris. Y'all don't count
TLC.
Calvin Harris is for R&B.
Okay.
Hey, man, where's
So
Joe
they're
at?
still getting some spins out there.
Hey, is Joe on there? Joe with
How about
Gucci
SZA?
Mane?
You count SZA?
This is the chart.
SZA wasn't on
This
there.
is the chart we look at.
She's
Look
in
at
5.
hard.
This is Billboards. This is like
Okay, it's Billboard. He's got BDS top 100. You
Look,
got the
sir,
Billboard.
In R&B, we look at this chart. This one right here. You see Billboard.
yeah, that's right.
Adult, no.
Oh,
Billboard,
adult R&B, national
adult
airplay.
R&B. Yes.
That's BDS. I understand.
Yes, that's what we look at. We don't look at that cosmetic thing there. That's
Oh, wow.
that can be bought.
As soon as I heard DJ Khaled,
That can be manipulated.
Exactly.
What,
Oh
Billboards?
boy.
Billboard is manipulated by, definitely manipulated. If you have X amount of monies, which I can't say right now, you can put a record on the chart.
How about Jacquees?
Wow.
Y'all count Jacquees as R&B?
He's R&B.
Yeah, he's
he's
R&B.
definitely
There
R&B.
you go. Number 14.
Hold on, man. Listen, where's that Ray E on me at?
Oh, that's at 1,000 and
There you go.
that's at 1,075.
What happened to,
Now
Roy
that's
James?
R&B.
They got
Roy
Dez
James.
Loaf on here. Dez
Roy
Loaf.
James.
Isn't he from? He's from Indianapolis, ain't he?
Oh, you talking about Ro James?
Yeah, Roy James.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
killing right now.
He's
He was-
actually not from Indianapolis. He was a
Really?
little military brat, so he
went to
he
school
had to
here?
stop here. But
okay.
he's not from here.
Okay.
He had a moment.
Didn't he
here.
go to? He went to
Yeah.
Went to
Broward?
North
yeah,
Central.
He
yeah.
went to North
He went
Central.
to
North
a few
Central. That's
schools.
my alumni.
Yeah,
You know, we run
same.
everything.
Same. Home of the Panthers.
You went
Man,
to North Central? What's
Man,
up?
this has been a great night, man. We got to
Yes,
do this
man. Yeah,
again.
absolutely.
We're going to wrap it up for Facebook, kick us off.
Ladies and
But we
gentlemen,
been-
I'm here to tell you that R&B is not dead.
It's alive.
Yeah, but if you looking at the top 100, you won't see it. Till you get
Hey.
to like 45.
I'm going to listen to him because his pockets are still swole off R&B music.
The
Look at what-
knowledge.
R&B can't be dead if
Why
he get
not,
the
man?
checks.
man?
They checks from the 80s.
Trying to let us know right now.
Yes,
Checks
sir,
from the
man.
80s.
Yeah, you.
Hey, they
Yeah,
still
residual.
cash. They cash them the same. So
Yeah.
No, it's a great discussion, man. I want to thank y'all for having
Absolutely.
me out, man.
Oh, definitely.
Hey, man, no
It's a
problem, bro.
great
Definitely.
platform, man.
Yes, sir.
Hey, thank you, brother.
I
yeah.
love the debate, man. We had
Are
a
you
good
still
time.
live on the air right
Yeah,
now?
yeah.
I can't shake your hand. Bloods and Crips can't shake hands.
Yeah, it has to be a truth.
Shots.
Shots. Come on.
Oh, man.
Oh, man.
It's all good.
All right, so what we like to do.
They're going to really think they got Bloods and Crips, though.
Nah, it's your fault.
That really is. That really.
What are you? Wait a minute. Look. What is you?
This
You a
is
Crip?
exactly what we was talking
man.
about earlier when we were saying the perception. Look at this perception y'all got going on. Y'all
Hey, listen, I'm sorry. They are not actual blood
Thank
or,
you for clearing that
or
up.
Crip.
Yeah,
I'm
he's
just
right.
saying that because of their shirts
Their shirts.
and the way they were going back and forth. So I just
Yeah.
put 2 and 2 together. and was like, man,
That's
Blood
right.
versus Crips.
And he wouldn't shake my hand because I won like the debate. So I respect that.
Speaking of Bloods and Crips, I was out in L.A. one time on a promo tour
Oh, man.
with
I got
Field
some crazy
Mob,
stories, man, when I lived out
and
there.
we were going through Compton, and I'm a Dodgers fan, and I had my Dodgers hat on, which is blue, Dodger blue, and the reps from Universal Record told me to lay down in the back seat, and I said, why do I need to lay down in the back seat? And they said, because you got on that Dodger hat, and that's what the Crips wear, and we're in a blood area.
Oh, man.
Wow.
And I'm like,
Yeah, it's real out there.
This is L.A., and they said, when you wear a Dodger cap, you have to get one in one of the odd colors, like green or brown or
Yeah.
black or something,
Yeah.
but not in the traditional
Yeah.
Dodger blue.
Yeah.
So I have
crazy.
Dodger caps in every color now. When I go to
Hey,
LA.
listen. Hey, listen. Crazy story. Well, I was riding with my old teammate, and, you know, it was nighttime. So, like, where he lived at, he lived in Crenshaw. So, where Love and Basketball Man was filmed at, his grandparents' house was like 2 doors down from where that movie was like filmed at, like the neighborhood. But anyway, on the way there, man, he said, "Yo, Pat, that street here is all Bloods. This street is all Crips." And it was like literally like you take 10 steps, man. And it's crazy. So we went to a Krispy Kreme out there, and we, you know, man, like we go through the drive-through, and we're at the, you know, at the window, and this dude's like, yo, man, you look like so-and-so. And my teammate didn't even turn. Like, he was just like, nah, man, you know, that ain't me. And he's looking straight ahead. So I'm looking like, man, why is this dude, you know, not turning, you know, to talk to him? So dude said, nah, man, you look like so-and-so, man. I'm like, wow. And my teammate, man, you know, he just kept looking straight. So, man, we drove off. I'm like, dude, like, why you ain't turning? He said, man, dudes is crazy here, dog. Like, he thought I looked like so-and-so. I don't know that dude, man. You know, he could have shot me, Pat. I'm like, man, he could have shot you, man, like that. He said, Pat, you just don't know. Dude, that, man, like, that's how they get down here. Yeah. He said, man, that's why I look straight. Mm-hmm. It's like, man, hey, that's crazy.
That's wild.
The question is, where can I get a Gray Area Media shirt?
Oh, man, we got you. we got you. Don't worry about it, man. We got you.
He already got a grab bag for you.
Oh, okay.
So what we like to do, man, is closing remarks. Just tell the people, just give them your closing remarks. You know, what you do, when they can find you for your consulting or whatnot, you know, what you guys do individually, how they can reach you and all that.
My industry nickname is Uncle Jamz. That's UNCLEJAMZ.
Z, get it right.
And you can follow me on Twitter at Uncle Jamz. You can follow me on Instagram at Uncle Jamz, but on Instagram you need to put an underscore after the Z. I also have a Facebook musician band page, Uncle Jamz, UNCLEJAMZ. I also have my company, MECAP, which is www.mecapmusic.com. It also has a Facebook page of the same name. So that's how you can reach me, because if you go to any one of those, that's how we can hook up. And then if you're saying something that's worthy of me to email you back because you're talking about business, then I will email you back, because I don't have time to be wasted.
There you go.
I heard that.
There it is.
Even though the Z at the end of words came from hip-hop, rap. But
we'll let them slide.
Yeah.
No, it actually came from Midnight Star when I walked in the room one time when they were practicing. And because I'm really good at making up hooks in the song, when I walked through the door, they said, here comes Uncle Jamz, the man with all them hooks. Mm-hmm. And it just stuck.
There you go.
Jamz with a Z.
Jamz with a Z.
Yeah. Brandon.
You mess with him this time.
Y'all silly.
Bloods and Crips getting ready to.
You win.
The best way to reach me be over Instagram. You can follow me, B Mula, so MULA TV. That's where you can find me. I do photography around the city. I've been in all the clubs right now. Club High, Tiki Bob's, Taps and Dolls right now.
You should have brought your camera here, man.
I definitely got it in the car.
Man.
Don't ever leave without it.
Yeah, don't ever leave without it. Look it up, man. Take some shots.
Definitely doing that right now for everybody. Just connecting.
Yeah,
camera shots. Yeah.
Well, he's quick. He hit the follow as soon as I said.
Oh yeah.
He's doing it.
Networking.
That's what you got to do.
Big right now. So
yeah.
I'm even gonna follow the blood.
Thank you. Thank you. Is it on me?
Yeah, yes, sir. Yep.
Oh, okay. Well, let's see.
Are you done?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay.
That's why.
Yeah, you good.
All right. My earphones going out. Can y'all hear me?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Andrew Hunt on Facebook. On Instagram is Drew the Plug. Y'all know how to spell Drew. You know what I'm saying? Drew the Plug. Check me out. You know, I'm a businessman Monday through Friday, but on the weekends I do battle rap. My next battle is coming up August 26th. Come check me out. We're gonna be in Fort Wayne. I'm starting a new show called Block Politics. Nice. Block Politics. Man, this dude named Montana King. Y'all know Montana?
Yeah, I know Montana King.
We're gonna be on there. I'm kind of a right winger a little bit. He's a lefty. You know what I'm saying? So it's gonna be good debates. You know how I get down.
Absolutely.
And what else we got? Oh, NumbersMediaTV.com. Check us out. The Jungle every Wednesday. The Dean's List every Sunday. And we rocking with the gray area, man.
Absolutely.
Dope, man.
Absolutely.
Appreciate
right
it.
on, man.
Turk.
My fault. You know they won't find
I'm
you
going
too.
home. That's where I'm going. I'm going home.
Okay. Hey,
He will,
man. Hey,
I don't think we asked you where you was going, man.
Yeah, I mean, you know what, man?
That's what's funny.
Listen, man.
He
Don't worry
said,
about him, man. Hey, thank y'all, man, for coming, man. You know, even though, man, I was shocked, man, to see this guy here, man, today. But, you know, but you know, but you said some, you know, look, man, you said some good stuff, man. I appreciate, man, the knowledge, man, and the whole back and forth, man. That's good, bro.
For sure.
The wisdom, man, of you. Hey, appreciate it. You know, just you know, I'm always, you know, happy, man, to, you know, speak to my elders, man, you know, about things that I'm passionate. Like,
don't
you know,
take too much from a dead man. Remember.
Oh, okay.
I do R&B. It's dead.
I should have never said that.
You ain't gonna let you live with that one.
I know. I apologize.
Shout out.
How much was your last royalty check?
Wow.
Oh,
15 racks.
Okay.
there you go.
Okay.
All right, Donald Trump.
I'm a right winger, so that's not a diss to me. You know what I mean?
Oh. Hey, okay.
Oh, no, you.
That's okay.
Yeah, we're gonna have to bring you back to have that discussion.
Yeah,
I'd like to have a
yeah,
discussion
yeah.
with you about that.
All day.
Yeah.
So, you know, shout out, man, to the viewers, man. Thank y'all, man, for tuning in, man. We love y'all, man. Go to the website, please, to the Gray Area Media at.
Yeah, to the Gray Area Media Live.com.
There you go.
I love it, man. I love it, man. I love
Yeah,
it, man.
a little bit.
He
But,
said
you
he
know,
handed
man,
me the alley-oop.
Yep, gave it to him, man, live. But, I mean, music, man, is powerful, man. You know, I would love for the content in music, man, to be more consistent, more passionate, man, more people just being who they are.
I feel that.
You know, instead of just, you know, hey, you know, that's hot, you know, I'm going to jump on that and I'm going to be that. You know, I think when the authenticity is more consistent in music, regardless if it's rap, R&B, you know, whatever, then the whole culture of it, man, would be way better than what it is now.
Now, with that one, I will comment on that one.
Oh, my God.
Oh, goodness.
Let
There
it
you
go,
Good.
man. We coming this way, man. We like going back.
Get one
No,
in.
now,
Get one in.
well, I would like for music to go. I would like for it to just be a little bit more balanced. Like, I appreciated how it was like in the 90s. You know, there was a lane for everybody. If there was something you wanted to listen to, you could have your different genre.
Right.
I mean, not genre. You could just
You
listen
did
to
have
different
like hardcore rap,
Yeah,
and then
you
you had
had
rap,
conscious,
and you
you
had
had
hip hop.
party rap,
Yeah, right. Yeah,
you had
different.
everything. I would just like, I would just like to see like more variety because, like you said, everything seems like a carbon copy right now.
On the radio.
Right.
Yeah, on the radio, but
Who
yeah,
listens to the radio?
No, but that's what I'm saying. But like, I would just like to see like I would just like to see different variety of people pushed, like
Yeah.
the actual mainstream.
Well, we gotta get more ownership, man. You know, we gotta utilize, you know, these social platforms, man. These social outlets, man. To utilize that power to
Right.
get that stuff out there.
As
To where
as much influence as we
Yeah.
push, we also have to push positivity.
exactly.
So that's where it needs to go unmatched. You know what I'm saying?
So use these platforms, man, to your leverage, to your advantage, and then that change would happen.
He's right. Right. Oh, one thing before you leave, I want to say you guys got to remember also we have grown out of the market. We are not the market anymore. Like they literally are selling things to like kids from like you said 13 to like maybe
Yeah,
35
you're
or
talking
something.
about the demographic.
Yeah, the demographics.
Yeah.
We have grown out the market, so we're not supposed
Yeah.
to be agreeable with what they're selling. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah.
They're recreating old movies to get our money. They'll remake the Smurfs or remake something
Oh, yeah.
that we watched when we was kids. That's how they get our money because we're gonna take our kids to go see what we saw.
Oh yeah,
But
that's
as
why
far
the
as-
Jordans have been remade in different
Retros.
colors every year.
because you couldn't afford them at Crestview.
I'm rocking
Right.
the
But now you
72
got
and
some
10s
money.
right now, which I shouldn't be.
You know what
I
I'm
can sell
saying?
these used.
So
and
just
get about
remember that.
400 for 'em right
That's
now,
all I was
used.
saying.
For sure. Man, I would just like to say thank y'all for coming to the great area. Thank y'all for hitting me up and just, I mean, being a man, it's just beautiful to me. You know what I'm saying? Because we can sit in here and have and create dialogue and understand one another and just produce so many different things. And not only that, viewers get to take it home with us. You know what I'm saying? After this is over, the people that went to sleep tonight, they're going to be watching this at work tomorrow.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Taking it all in because there's so much for us to learn from each other. And we must continue having this kind of dialogue all the time.
Great dialogue.
So we
man.
definitely gonna try to team up with y'all again and bring y'all back so we can not only catch up with what y'all are doing, but just to have more discussion on this. So it's a continuous thing.
Can you have some
y'all.
real AK-47s here next time?
Yeah, you're tired.
So I can 187 on an R&B hater?
Hey man,
ain't gonna let you
touch some
live.
nerves, man, with that, man. I know you said RB head, man.
I don't know. I'll take
You
it
meant
back.
it? No.
Hey,
Apologize it. Apologize.
I apologize. If we count Bruno, I apologize.
Can we count Bruno and R&B?
Can we count Bruno? He don't even know who SZA is. So I'm just messing with it. That was a joke. That was a joke as well. I ain't gonna make it out of here. Y'all gotta walk me out.
Hey, I purchased Bruno Mars' album. I downloaded it on iTunes and I bought the physical copy. I like his artistry.
Yeah,
there you go.
See, I bought 2 copies of that 444.
That's what I'm talking about.
Bought them. They sit in my car. In my car, you can't even play a CD player.
Yeah.
I mean, a CD man. In my car, you can't.
I bought the Skip album, even though I got one free.
Yeah.
Shout out, man, to Skip.
Shout out to Skip, the best album out in the city right now.
Yeah, shout out to Skip.
You know what I mean? But hey, Tragic is coming, so we're gonna see what Tragic
shout
doing.
Shout out to Tragic.
Yeah, the masterpiece. He might be able to challenge it right now. I'm giving it to Skip, hands down.
Your group Endure. Where are they from?
They're from Georgia.
And do they have an album out right now?
Single.
Okay.
Is that what you have for us?
RnB's dead, remember?
George Middleton said the only way to get that balance is through ownership of our music that they are making off of us. I agree.
Absolutely.
I was gonna say that's why, as far as Moulin TV, that's one thing that we're extremely. I don't like to use the word proud because being proud is sin, but something that we're very joyful of is being a black business.
Yeah,
we're not
absolutely.
ran by anybody. We don't care how small we start. Nobody is controlling us from what would we say, the masses.
Absolutely.
Nobody's
powers that be.
Yes, nobody is controlling us,
and that's awesome.
And we know that one day they are going to come knocking.
Right, for sure.
I have to say one quick thing, because I would be remiss if I didn't give a shout out to all of my artists in addition to Skip. We've mentioned Endure, to my female diva on the Kneecap label, Sassé.
Okay.
Shout out
to my group from Portland, Oregon, stars of the Bizarre 7-man hip-hop funk group.
Nice.
To KB the Monster out of Davenport, Iowa.
Okay.
To 12 from Indianapolis. To Rodney Stepp, June Walker, Steve Cooper.
I know Rodney Stepp.
Yeah,
man. Sure, I haven't forgotten anybody. Damon Carl. I think that's everybody. If I forgot anybody, I got
label.
So many.
Shout out to the
Kneecap label.
Yeah,
that's what's up, man. I just want to say thank you to the viewers who always tune in and promote us and share us. And I'm telling y'all, man, we have some of the most faithful viewers because, they just rock with us no matter what the show topic is. You know what I'm saying? And we need that. It inspires us to do well and to do more and come back every week because this is all voluntary. We don't get a dime from this. So we like to just sit in here and do what we do in hopes of reaching as many people as possible. So we thank y'all for that. And we're going to see y'all again next week at the Gray Area.
Peace out.
Peace out.
Love.
Peace.
Welcome to the Gray Area. The Gray Area Media. We've obligated ourselves to be the voice for all communities, speaking on topics that include community, religion, education, politics, technology, sports, health, and wellness. The Gray Area Media is a platform created by longtime friends for the sole purpose of providing our communities with the ability to voice current, past, and modern-day issues. The Gray Area, in its naming significance, solely speaks to the area in which people shy away from speaking because of media-based constraints or contractual-based obligations. Well, I'm here to tell you, we don't do that here. So please, stay tuned in. We're going to go live in a few minutes. Don't forget, please add us as a friend on Facebook so that you can follow our live feed. And not only that, please add us on Twitter and Instagram at The Gray Area Media. Please visit our website at www.thegrayareamedialive.com. Thank you.